card, so let's get that out of the way.
Ooh.
Colby has to get rid of one.
Well, you have until we finish all this side questing. Basically, when I say when we're getting ready to start chapter 2, I'll be like a session or two before that. I'll be like, okay, you guys should probably start looking at those.
Yeah.
All right, so draw one of those, Dorian.
Bam. Woo, woo.
All right.
Counter charm.
Then I did add just a few minutes ago 2 more items to side questing, which aren't that big a deal. But basically, they were, you guys should start thinking about whether or not you want to name your group or just be referenced as the party.
I like calling it the colony.
No, you guys.
Yeah.
The colony is the other one. Like if they're so each of the founding families have their own idea of what they want to call the colony, and they're all bickering over it. And so they basically decided they're going to be democratic about it, and they're going to actually like call a vote of the people that are in the colony, and they're going to be like campaigning and getting people to like pick names and whatnot. So you guys can decide whether or not you want to actually offer your services to help campaign, or if you're going to vote, or if you want to actually campaign for your own name.
Ooh.
Fergog no care. Names mean not much.
You don't want like Fergarg Town or something?
No.
Rumsville.
I should also point out, in case you haven't already noticed by looking at the map, that there is a new section that is open.
I saw.
I definitely noticed that.
Yeah. It looks like there's a little fighting pit up there.
There is. There's been, you guys have heard talks and different hooks and whatnot before about that there was an arena being built.
Oh.
Yeah, and that area is a lot more walled in. That looks like a more wealthier part of town.
Is that Shadow Shore?
That is above Shadow Shore. Shadow Shore is the little spot that's above it there.
Right. You mean below it at the bottom right?
Yeah, here.
This stuff.
Right.
The new area is...
Oh, shit.
let's see... That one they were calling the Champions District. And it is basically, you know, a district of like soldiers, mercenaries, gladiators, things like that. The founding family that oversees that one is Lord Chester is their last name.
Lord Chester.
Lord Chester.
I'm guessing I have some idea as to who they are.
I mean, they're one of the founding families on the Dawn Council. The lord of it is Neldrak Lorchester. He has a reputation of being a scheming bastard and quite canny.
Good to know.
And he absolutely loves battle. Being in it, watching it.
Fair
All
enough.
about it.
All about it.
Not much happens at 6th level.
I got a pretty cool ability.
Yeah, usually your whatever your specialization or archetype or whatever, you usually get something at 6th level for that.
Right, so that's the only really cool thing that I get, because I get to pick 2 free spells now of any class.
That's
In
really
addition-
strong.
That's super fucking powerful.
Yeah, I know. But other than that,
Oh man, I could give you some suggestions that would make your hair stand up, but I ain't gonna do it.
and it goes like it's added to the total number of spells that I know.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to sacrifice that. I just get 2 more up to
Yeah, you should really, really take a look at
Third level.
like some of the classes that have spells that you can never get access to.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna have to this is gonna be a whole project. I'm gonna have to sit down this weekend with the PHP and just look through every spell.
I highly recommend Cleric because most of the spells within Cleric, or any of the divine classes really, are going to be stuff that you have less access to.
Yeah, but I gotta pick something that fits my concepts.
There's plenty. I promise. There's two that come to mind. I'm like, oh, Fischl would love it.
The one that for the other college would have been good too. At for the College of Valor, starting at 6th level, you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn.
Is that the college you chose?
No, that's the other college.
Ah.
That's like the fighting bard college. I took the bard college.
Yeah. You didn't go to the abridged school of bardicness.
Okay. I sold all that loot that was left.
That was on my list of before we start. That's one of the things I was going to ask about, is whether or not you got all of that and have the list for everybody to know what their wealth is.
I do. I'll just punch it in here. So, Pepe. Let me rephrase that. The Pepe.
Meepo the Pepe.
Yeah, he'll answer if you call him the Pepe. But if you just call him Pepe, he's going to be like, that's not my name.
The Pepe got 89 gold. And then the rest of us got 179, and that's including Rowan's cut in there.
Does that include me?
Nope,
Or
that does
I'm
not include you.
That's what I thought. I mean, I wasn't around for it. I just wanted
Right.
to make sure.
That
Yeah.
does include Finn, though.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
Well, I'll
good.
just take that gold and take it to a ship for him.
Nah, I'm going to add it on.
No,
I'm
just
going to
kidding.
add it onto a sheet. Let's see.
Can I assume that I successfully changed out my coinage?
You can
That is-
definitely, once you're back here, you will have no problem
Okay.
getting your coins changed out. There's plenty of banks. You can go back to that church that you guys went to before. There's all kinds of options for getting that. All right,
my
who keeps
gold on my character sheet's actually wrong. Because I spent some money.
the fuck?
Oh, no, we traded with that guy.
Bin sheet. Is somebody?
And I can just
Every-
uncheck the stuff that I left in my house.
Yeah, anything you left in your house, you can either keep a separate list of or uncheck it. Let's see. So 4.
All right, I definitely converted some coinage into platinum.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure Finn will probably do that, but I'm not going to go through that right now. I'll just leave him encumbered. Actually, I don't even think he's encumbered. No, he's not encumbered anyway with it.
While we're in downtime, I would have cast a Find Familiar, because I know that takes a while.
I think
That's
if you're doing it as a ritual, it takes a while.
Yeah, it has a cast time of an hour.
Yeah, so if you're doing
So
it as a
I just want to make
ritual-
sure that I've done that ahead of time.
But are you casting it as one of your spell slots, or are you casting it as a ritual?
Ritual.
Because a ritual isn't that like 10 times as longer?
Yeah, I mean,
Is
or
that
I
what-
could have.
Is that what makes it an hour? Is already doing the times 10?
No, the actual cast time is 1 hour.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're going to spend
How
one of
long have we been here?
I mean, you guys have been back for about 9 hours, but you did take a long rest,
Okay.
which would be 8 of it.
Okay. Then
Martin. Oh, go ahead.
I guess if we have time before we actually are doing something, then I'll cast it as a ritual. Otherwise, I'll spend the hour and actually just cast it. If we have 10 hours, then I'll totally do ritual.
That's to discuss with your party.
I
'cause-
would be cool with taking that because this is the first time my assistant has been to a big city. So I was gonna give her a tour, and that would probably eat up and have a just kind of decompress from the thing. So I would be cool with taking like a day or two and just not doing setting out of town, but just doing stuff here in town.
Okay. I'm gonna have to
I'm
make
good with that. I have plenty of stuff in town I can do.
All right, I'm gonna have to
Because I
make
got some
notes so that Finn knows what was done and what wasn't.
Martin, I have a random question.
Okay.
Part of my starting gear is a ring from an imaginary duke.
Is
Just
that
like-
your trinket?
I don't know if it's my trinket, but it's part of my starting gear. It's the signet ring of an imaginary duke. It comes with my charlatan thing. Can I assume that I picked that up at some point?
Yeah, I mean, if you
Because I didn't
have
start
them-
with it because we started with nothing, but I do have that charlatan background or whatever.
right, but anything if you start as an exile, you got none of your starting gear, so you would have to buy something like that.
Right. I mean, and you could tell me how much you'd say it would have cost, but that comes as part of because I have a false identity.
You can actually
part of my stuff.
decide how much you want that to cost because how much you spend on a ring like that will determine how real it's going to look.
Really? Do I have any kind of guidance as to how much is good and how much is bad?
I mean, probably on the cheap end for like a Duke's ring would probably be at least 50 gold.
What about a good one?
A really good one can go as high as you want because it's all about what kind of gems you want in it and whether or not you want it engraved and filigree and all this other stuff. But like just a basic like band with some like gems in it, like basically think of like a mobster's pinky ring. Like there's a band with like a single gem in it. Would probably be like 50 gold.
What can I get for 100 gold?
I mean, it'd be a little bit nicer. Like, I mean, it would still be. You could probably get like a platinum ring, with a single gem, or you could get a gold ring with a couple gems in it, or a single gem with some engraving on it.
I'll start there. I'll get a pretty nice ring for 100 gold, and then I might upgrade it later.
Yeah, probably the best thing to do is just mark it down as like 100 gold Duke's ring.
Okay.
All right, so MC wants to take a day. Dorian wants to take a day.
Vishal wants
Uh,
to take a day.
Okay, so Fergar, I assume you're okay with taking the day too then?
Yep.
All right, so Fergar, what are you going to do on your free day? Fergar
Um,
Bueller's day off. What are you doing?
Fergarg is going to. Fuck, put on the spot.
Well, if you need time to think about it, I can jump to Colby.
Yeah, jump to Colby.
What's the question?
What are you doing with
I was thinking of something else.
What are you doing for your free day?
So I'm assuming that the things I already talked to you about are not going to take up my part of my free day, which was checking on the Drunken Bear, checking on the Bark, going back to my house. I didn't have to go looking for Arthur.
Okay.
Is it all like that doesn't count in my day?
Some of it will. Let's take it one thing at a time for the things that haven't been discussed yet. So Vark, when you check on him, he's dead.
What?
Finally.
He's
It took him a while, didn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
How long have we been gone? I'm just curious. Both for Arthur purposes and for Vark purposes.
that you need to probably make an insight on.
Okay, that's weird, but all right.
Yes, it is. Okay, so you feel like you've only been gone for maybe a total of 2 days, 3 tops. Like like you guys, because you guys basically stopped at the Goblin Hulk. Actually, it might be a little longer. So you guys stopped at the Goblin Hulk. You stayed the night there. You went to Kraken's Cove. You battled there. You stayed the night there. You came back through, stopped at the Goblin Hulk again, and stayed the night. So it's probably been about 4 days total.
Yeah,
that you
4
guys
days,
have been
3
gone.
nights.
But when you get back to the colony and you see like the new district that's open and
I
how many
thought
people
about
are
that.
there, you're like, we've been gone at least 2 or 3 weeks. Easy.
Wow.
So Vark
Seriously,
like starved to
how
death.
did- Time is weird here because there's no way we were actually gone that long.
Yeah,
That's
and remember,
weird.
I don't know if you guys remember when you guys first came back to the when you guys first came to the colony from the old world, I had said something about that the sun was
Yeah.
setting in the east and instead of the west, and that there had been other people that had mentioned that sometimes days only last like 10 hours and other times they last like 40.
And
That's
the
weird.
colony had ostensibly only been here for like a month, but it was fully developed or something like that. I think that was
Not
part of it too.
it wasn't quite that little, but it had, for the short amount of time that it had been in here, it had definitely grown by more than what you guys had anticipated. Like you guys thought you'd come into shore and there would be like tents and like some beaten out grass, maybe some like fort walls or something like that. But when you got in here and there was like dugout canals and actual like built buildings, you're like, holy shit, this is at least like 3-4 months work.
Nice.
And it hasn't been that long.
So Dorian would actually ask you guys: is this the first time that you all have experienced this phenomenon?
Yeah, but this is also really the first time we've been out of the colony.
Yeah, they've spent almost exclusively their time in the colony before going to Kraken's Cove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Venturing away
So-
from the colony produces these kinds of results.
So Vark is dead. Not that it matters much, but which occurs first, Vark or Arthur? Because you said he was in my house when I got there.
Arthur occurs first because like you basically walk in your door and you don't see him, but he like springs from the shadows onto your back like he's gonna like slit your throat. And then when he realizes who you are, he's like, "Oh, I thought you were an intruder. Sorry, boss."
Okay, and then don't forget that I wanted to have the conversation with him privately about where he had been and what had happened to him, rather than
Yeah.
do it in game.
I knew you had been
Um,
busy, so I was waiting for you to message me when you were ready.
Oh, I thought you just emailed too. That's probably the best way, is if you can just, I don't know. Anyway, so I do know that I want to, probably before I would go check on Vark, I would want to introduce Arthur to Meepo
Okay.
and see what happens.
They actually seem to get along okay, and like Arthur introduces himself in common, and
As Arthur?
Yep.
Meepo doesn't blink?
Nope.
Okay.
Remember, Meepo didn't know who Arthur was anyway.
Yeah.
Most of the
Okay.
kobolds didn't.
Okay. So that was short, and then I go in alone to check on Vark, and he's dead. Like, how dead? Like rigor mortis, or like been dead for weeks dead?
He's not been dead for weeks dead, but like he's definitely been like. It's actually kind of hard to tell because like he's dead, but there's like no smell of decomposition. But it's obvious that he's been dead a while because he doesn't have like any like body fluids or anything. But like he's not rotting and he doesn't smell.
I'm gonna poke him.
I mean, he swings from the ropes that you have him tied on.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Then I will. Gotta get creative here. What's the difference between a potion of healing and a potion of restoration?
Potion of healing is going to give you hit points back. Restoration is going to like get rid of like diseases and or potentially curses, like different like condition and status ailment kind of things.
Okay. I have 5 of them, so I'm gonna try opening his mouth and pouring a potion of part. Can I do part of a potion of healing? I don't want to use all of it.
It'll be. I mean, it's a use or don't use.
All right, so I'm gonna
but
pour
you-
a potion of healing down his throat.
You can actually make a unskilled intelligence check if you like,
Oh, really?
or if you have Arcana, you can roll that.
I mean, I'm jack of all trades, so
Whichever will be better.
it's the same.
Okay. You know that you would be wasting your potion. He's dead.
In that case, let's see. I don't want to take him outside, so I'm gonna look around and see if I can find a good place to dispose of the body.
I mean, you're like in a wooded grove, so you can, if you want to dig up something, you can easily do that. Otherwise, there's a freshwater lake there.
There's a whole lake?
yeah.
See, I've never really explored. I just kind of came in here and hung him from a tree and left. Does it look like I could keep walking, like away from the grove or into the forest or something?
A little bit. Like you walk for a little bit, and then like you end up on the other side of the lake.
Can I keep going?
Yeah, you keep going, and then you end up in the lake, and then you can cross the lake, and then you're back on the side that Vark is hanging from. It basically loops. Like there's a finite amount of area in there, but there are like no edges. Like when you reach what should be the edge, you go to the other side.
Okay, is the lake freshwater?
Yeah.
Is there anything in it?
Is
Can I
it
use
what?
detect thoughts? I don't know if that detects animals or not. I think of it as like intelligence below 3. It doesn't work or something.
Yeah, I don't think it detects those.
Let me check the spell before I use it.
'Cause I think you tried that on Donkey and realized it was going to be a waste of your spell because if he's an animal, you wouldn't be able to hear his thoughts. You didn't try it, but you decided you weren't going to cast it because he was an animal.
Yeah, 3 or lower does it. Okay. Well, can I like get in the lake or look around the lake and see if I see any living like fish or any creatures?
You can see pretty easy. Like you can hear crickets in here.
Uh-huh.
You can hear like bullfrogs. You can look in the lake and you can see some fish swimming around in there.
Okay. Well, then I will toss Vark in the lake and leave.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I can't remember. I know people were mad that I had absconded with Vark, or they wanted to know where he went. Was there anybody who like wanted him dead?
I think Baron was the only one that even cared.
But even other people in the colony, like,
Oh, there's people in the colony. That's on even one of the side quests. Like the Dawn
Really?
Council was offering money for somebody to like bring them information on where Vark is or bring Vark himself in.
So is our partner.
can I have? I don't know how this will work or if it'll work, but I have a renown of 1. Can I use that and/or some sort of knowledge check to determine whether or not I think it's a good idea to bring the Dawn Council his head?
I think you might actually have more than one in Dawn
Well, I
Council.
had it written down on my sheet as 1, but I didn't look too closely at the new stuff you added, so I don't know exactly how that
Yeah.
works.
You have a renown of 4 in the Dawn Council, which doesn't get you much. It just you're not considered affiliated, or you're only a junior member with no benefits.
Okay. But can I use like a knowledge check or something to figure out if I think that that is going to be in line with what they're wanting for Vark? Like, because they want somebody to bring him or whatever.
You
Is
don't
it like
have
a
to
dead
make
or alive thing?
You don't have to make a check on it. They did not specify dead or alive, but they didn't say dead or alive. They said that they wanted to know his location or any information that would lead to his location.
Okay.
So they weren't offering like a bounty, like bring him in or anything like that, because he's not wanted on questioning. Like he was their harbor master, and he's not there to do the job, and they don't think that he would abandon it. So they're wanting to know what happened to him.
Well, then in that case, I guess I will not throw Vark in the lake yet. Because of the notice on my door, I will reserve him as a bargaining chip. So I will leave and get Arthur and Meepo to Pepe, and I guess Arthur can ride Ambrosius, and we will go check on the drunken bear. But first, I want to find a place to sell a couple of random things, if you'll allow me, so it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out thing. But I have this bolt of silk. Can I sell that?
For half price.
What's the price?
I
I also have 2 gold teeth and 2 chunks of gold from like the second mission that I never sold.
Did I give you the cost on those?
No.
Or the
The
approximation?
chunks of gold were from the sarcophagus we chopped apart. The gold teeth, they're just gold teeth. I don't know what they're worth.
No, I thought I did give you
If
cost.
you did, I didn't write it down, but I usually write everything down.
There was something like that in here. There we go. So an entire bolt of silk would probably be about 100 gold.
Ooh,
Wow,
but
that's
I
more
can
than
sell
I
it for
thought.
half price.
Yeah, because it sells for 10 gold per yard for silk. So yeah,
There's 50 gold. All right. All right, and then the gold chunks and the gold teeth.
the gold chunks are like 50 gold each. And the teeth are probably like 2 gold
Total or a piece?
total. But those are not like trade goods. Like those are just straight up gold that somebody can melt down. So they would give you full price for those.
Okay. Let's see. And you said the chunks were 50 each?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking another 52 gold there. Hold on. All right, and then I will go present myself before the Dawn Council.
Okay. Do you know where they're at?
Oh, no, first I would check on the Drunken Bear, sorry.
Okay.
And try to figure out where the Dawn Council is so that I can present myself.
Okay. It is night. The Drunken Bear is in full swing. There's plenty of people in there. Sam's playing away.
Sam.
And yeah, so it's pretty busy.
I'll go talk to, what's her name? I cannot remember.
Katie.
Go talk to Katie.
So
How have things been?
well, you walk up to her and she's actually like trying to like lift a guy up off a bar stool that is like too drunk, and she's like, "Come on, Dad." She's like, "Let's get you up to your bed," and you see her like trying really hard to like pick him up, but like she's having a hard time.
I tell you what, I need to BRB for a second. I don't know if you want to jump to somebody else and then back to me later. That's fine.
Okay.
That's a weird place to cut off, but I got to run for a second, so I'll be right back.
All right. JJ, did you figure out what you're doing?
Fergarg is going to talk to the chick about that piece of land.
Okay. She'll tell you pretty much what she told you last session, that it's probably going to be a few days before she secures that. But that word on the street is that a new district in the colony will be opening up, and there are debts to be paid, and there is a certain amount of land there that she might be coming into as a result of that debt. If they don't pay up and aren't willing to give the land, then she was planning on asking you guys to go and persuade them.
How Fergarg go help now?
She's like, well, there's not much you can do right now unless you're going to, unless you're sneaky enough to infiltrate the area. Because right now, if you don't have land there, the city guard is not letting anybody through.
Fergarg pretty sneaky.
But if you think you could sneak through, you can do so. I could tell you where you can find.
That's okay. Fergarg gonna go and try and I'm gonna try and go ask. I'm gonna go figure out families that are in need, like go find families that have kids that are in need. So I'm gonna try and just go out and identify kids that need help, so that when the shelter does come up, Fergarg has an idea of who he should be taking in.
All right, make an investigation check.
The best. I clicked it. Is it coming?
Nope.
What? Alright, well.
Why isn't it working?
Where's it at?
There we
There it
go.
goes.
Well, that's me rolling it by hand, but I don't know why.
Huh. Let's see, Fergarg.
This is just a test. There it goes. Okay. But the 17 is what I rolled.
Okay. All right, so you ask around. You notice that people are more receptive to talking to you now. That like before, when you've gone up to talk to people that weren't kids, they were kind of like ogre shit and like ran away or like
Shit.
Right.
But now you like come walking up to them and they look a little bit worried, but then when you come up and you're like, you're actually pretty decent. Like you come up and you're just like, Fergarg looking for people who need help that have a place to live. You tell Fergarg where, and they're just like, that is so sweet. And they're like, yes. And they point you to a couple families, and those families point you to a couple families, and you get like, probably about like a dozen different families worth of people that need help.
Sweet.
After you finish doing that, like the the trio of kids that you saw previous that you also had saw in your
Mhm.
like vision or whatever, they come walking up and they're like, Fergarg, we hear you're trying to help our friends that don't have warm beds.
That is yes. That what Fergog do.
They're like, and they start cheering and they're like, old Fergarg is back.
Old Fergog never left.
They were like, we told you yesterday, Fergarg, we were worried about you because you were acting really strange and doing stuff that was not like Fergarg.
Fergog. No, remember that. Not Fergog. Not this Fergog.
And they were like, good. We like a Fergarg who takes care of his friends.
That's right.
So they're like, we have a new game we could teach you, Fergarg.
Sweet.
They're like, this one's called Jump Rope. We're gonna show you how it's done.
Nice.
Awesome.
So Fergarg, you try it, and you're not terrible, but like as soon as they up the speed, you like the rope gets caught on your leg, and like as you go
Nice.
to trip, you like pull them that are holding the rope and lock them over. And you fall.
Nice.
And they're just like, oh man, Fergarg, we're gonna have a hard time figuring out a way to hold on to that rope when you don't hit it. Maybe you should swing it yourself and get good that way first.
Okay.
And she's like, you can have my rope. It's a real small rope, like it's for a kid. So
Okay.
she's like, you can have my rope, Fergarg.
Sweet. All right, I'm gonna try jump roping. Continue learning.
Good luck.
I want to watch this. Watch this. Boom.
No, you need to use acrobatics
Damn it.
for jumping rope.
That's bullshit. Boom.
There we go. All right, so you go to jump the rope and like when you like flip it over your head and it comes down, it just like hits your knees and like you can't even raise your leg high enough to even be able to get to the top of that rope, and you're just confused as to why you can't jump through that hoop of rope.
Fergog need much practice. Fergog go practice and be back.
Good luck, Fergarg.
All right, so
We will
Fergog.
tell all our friends who need food and beds and stuff to come see you.
Sweet. Fergog is gonna go practice jump rope.
Okay. Are you doing that for the whole day?
Yep.
Wow, that's gonna be a hardcore day of jump rope.
Hey, he's dedicating downtime to improving a skill.
That's right.
That is true.
Fair enough.
All right. So Fergar went around and collected families and learned how to jump rope. Made some friends. All right. So yeah. So Colby, you see Katie trying to carry her dad up the stairs.
Okay. I'll go help her.
Okay. And she'll be like, so when she sees you, she's like, Vishal, oh my god, I thought for sure you were dead.
No, just out adventuring.
Last we spoke, you said you were only going to be gone a couple days.
Yeah, okay, so I was, but I don't know why it seems like I wasn't.
Yeah, it's it's been a while.
4
she's
days
like-
for me.
She's like, well, I have heard that
Oh,
happens
I'll
to
be back.
some people. She's like, and so you like help her get her dad up there, and you know, she tells you that like, you know, business has improved, but essentially you haven't completed your goal yet because you had like I think it was what 9 days or something like that you had to go out
Something
and
like that.
yeah. So she's like business is improving. I notice it, but you know, it's not like dramatically improved, but it's definitely picked up.
Yes, lady, I'm still working on it, so don't lose hope. I'm back for a moment, and I will put my heart into it.
Excellent. She's like, Sam was worried about you too. I was going to fill your spot so that we would have a second musician in here because people really seem to like it, and he was adamant, no, you can't give away Vishal a spot.
Good old Sam. I shall play tonight, for in the morrow I have to present myself to the Dawn Council.
She's like, oh. She's like,
Oh.
On good business, I hope.
A misunderstanding.
Like, well, those do happen too.
So I'm gonna go downstairs unless she has anything else of interest to say. I'm gonna go back downstairs and join Sam and play on my viol.
Okay. Make your performance.
Yeah, buddy. You know how I do. Oh.
You're apparently rusty. So you go down and you start performing, but if Sam notices, he doesn't say anything. And you guys make a like 7 silver or 7 copper tip each.
Woohoo!
Big ballin'.
Hey, if you are an adventurer, that's actually good money. That'll feed you for like 2 days.
But I am an adventurer, and that's a pittance!
Well, that's what you get.
Okay.
There's
Well, I guess I'll have a couple beers and hang out there for the rest of the night. And I did I find out from her or from Sam or maybe somebody in the bar where I need to go to consult the Dawn Council?
Make an investigation.
That's a good point. Not my night.
So you start asking around, but you've already had a couple beers, so it turns into like you going up to people and be like, "Hey, man, you heard about Dawn Council? It's pretty sweet, right?" And so you get a lot of people being like, "Fuck the Dawn Council," or people being, or people being like, "Yeah, man, like much better than the government was in the old world." And other people are like, "What are you talking about? They're doing exactly like the old world." And they're like, "Fuck you, man," and turns into a fight at some point, but.
Well, I guess in the morning, whenever that comes, if I feel all right, I will continue going out into the town, the colony, and looking for the Dawn Council.
All right, let me handle the previous day with everyone else.
That's fine.
Dorian, you're just spending your day casting Find Familiar, right?
Yeah, it takes me a long fucking time. I'm just chilling in my house in front of a brass brazier, spending 10 gold of incense and herbs and shit that I'm burning, and very slowly obtaining a familiar.
Okay, you probably will have some time. I mean, you have a whole day, so I mean, you slept 8 hours of it. You're spending 10 hours of it to do your ritual. So you still have a couple of other hours in the day that you could do something. What kind of familiar are you calling?
I was actually just trying to figure that out, and I think I'm going to go with a bat.
Okay, that's a popular choice.
Seems the most versatile. If I do end up summoning it again, if it dies, then I will end up having to summon it again now, because I always choose a new one then.
Okay, so what are you doing with your other hours?
Well, I mean, I would just be continuing like normal work duties and stuff if necessary. And if not necessary, then I might go find some people in the group and try to see what they're doing, they're up to.
Okay.
I am drinking in the bar.
Yeah,
Not a bad place to be.
You'll be able. I mean, you'll be able to spot any of them
The
because
good bar, not the lame bar.
MC's out on his date with his.
It's not a date.
Oh,
This
it's
is
a
strictly
date.
Professional, because I need her to know where stuff is in the city, so when I send her on errands,
Mm-hmm.
there we go.
And you find Fergarg, either jumping rope or trying to jump rope, or you might find him in a bar. I don't know if he would go to the Drunken Bear or just any bar.
We would swing by the Drunken Bear because it's been like an establishment of ours.
So the Drunken Bear is like a fairly well-known place for you guys?
That's one of the first places they ever went. Like Colby's trying to get into being like a owner of that business, and
They're doing it. They just don't know yet.
MC has slept there before, and JJ has slept in the alley behind it before.
Yeah, I've slept in the alley behind it before too, until I gave up and decided to get a room.
Well, if I know that that's a common place that they hang out, then I'd probably go to the Drunken Bear.
Just make sure you don't go to the Thirsty Gorilla.
So, oh yeah, that's the place that we framed, wasn't it?
Oh, that's nice.
That's the place we said.
Is it even still open?
They put people's ears in their drinks, man.
Do I know if the
What?
Thirsty Gorilla is still open?
I mean, you can do some investigation to ask around.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Wes. I just need to know this
No, you're
immediately.
good.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
that
so
kind of night.
you don't get any like clear answers. You're like you just basically like as soon as you mention established, people are in the Drunken Bear like fuck that place.
I'll settle for that.
So that perception that I rolled is to see if I notice Fergard jumping rope, and I do.
Okay. Yeah, you'll be able to see him. He's not actually jumping rope. He doesn't understand that his rope is too short for him to even be able to jump it. But he's trying, and he can't even he can't even drop the rope down and step over it and still hold on.
Try.
To
Yeah, right, son.
I'm just gonna watch him keep trying, and then I'm just gonna like.
JJ, it's literally impossible to do with this rope. Doesn't matter how well you roll. If
That
it's
was a
an
really good
impossible
acrobatics
task-
roll too.
It was, but if it's an impossible task, then you can't even do it.
Yeah, I'm not. I clearly see that it's not gonna happen. But
Yes.
I'm not gonna go over there. I'm not gonna rain on his parade. He can have all the fun he wants trying to jump rope.
You see him doing that,
Wow,
and you see like
what an
the
asshole.
donkey's just sitting on his hindquarters and watching him. Like, I mean, he's just got his like mouth hanging open, and he's just like staring at Fergar while Fergar tries to do it.
I might say like that looks really fun.
Yeah, man, you could have helped me some, you know.
I don't have anything long enough to help him, and I feel like if I were to be like, "That's not long enough," he would be like, "Oh well, Fergar not understand length." I think it's easier to just be quiet, be like, "You're doing great."
Donkey doesn't understand either. He's just basically be like, "Oh man, you almost got it that time. Your toe got over it. I saw it."
Like, I think it'd just be better just to let him do the thing.
So are they near Drunken Bear?
Oh, you know what I will do?
That's up to JJ.
I
mean, I'll be
will.
wherever.
I will. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go find a length of rope.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'll go buy some rope because it's not too expensive,
Okay.
and I will bring it back to Fergarg, and then tell him that he should use that
Okay.
because it's 50 foot of rope and it's like super cheap.
Okay.
So I'll be like, this is the
Stole my
Fergarg
idea,
size jump
see?
rope.
Damn it!
Do what, Fergar?
You stole my idea, MC.
I'll tell him it's a Fergarg size jump rope. Or Fergarg piece of rope.
Any reaction to that, Fergar?
Fergar like, okay. And he grabs like the two ends of the 50-foot rope and he's like, whoosh, whoosh.
He grabs like the farthest ends.
Yeah.
You might need to cut a little bit off.
So you try to swing it, it just keeps like hitting the ground.
Maybe you gotta like cut it in half or something.
All right.
Donkey goes and jumps through it when it lands on the ground, then jumps back out, and he's like, "Look, I'm jumping rope too. Look at me."
Donkey, very good jump rope. Fergarg not so good. Fergarg not best at jump rope. Fergarg like hopscotch a lot better.
It's this is pretty much just you playing a game. When hopscotch, you get to play with the kids.
Mm-hmm. All right, well,
Have
Fergarg
fun.
is gonna, I guess, try and figure out what to do with this rope.
Make an insight check, Fergarg. All right, so you finally figure out that if you like wind up the rope a little bit around your hands and shorten the length of it, that you can swing it over your head and jump over it and keep on going.
Nice.
So
Fergarg.
then make an acrobatics. So you're able to jump it. You still can't get quick, but you're able just going at like a decent pace. You're able to jump it a few times.
Nice.
And Donkey's like, man, that Aaron, he's all right. He's kind of smart, ain't he? He's smart like a tack. I'm telling you.
It was Fergarg figure out he not need to use whole rope.
He's
Aaron
like,
bring
"Well, I
whole
mean,"
rope.
He's like nobody can be smart as you, man. I mean, you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, the rest of us, we just got to deal with, being average.
That's right.
Other than that, I will just continue on giving a tour of the city.
Okay. You said you were buying a map of the colony too at some point, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that helps you with giving the tour because you haven't even really gone on a tour yourself.
Yeah, so it's like we're doing like the classic tourist thing, being like, "Oh yeah, this is totally this thing over here."
All right, and you do eventually come across the shop that you guys are wanting to visit, the one that you were talking about with the party.
Uh huh.
The baby shop.
Yeah, that one
Oh,
is
boy.
like
Uh-oh.
that's. I think. Let me double check. I think I remember where it's at. Yeah. So, it's right here, which is coincidentally right next to the Vanderborn.
Where is it?
Right here.
I don't.
I don't see the
Yeah, I don't
ding.
see
Oh,
anything.
oh, whoa, that was me.
So you might have to zoom out to see the whole map.
No,
Not seeing it.
not seeing it.
Yeah, no dings.
That's weird.
Nothing.
I think I remember where Vanderborn Manor was though. It's down by Wine Street.
Hang on, I think I got it. Right.
Are you on the right layer? There we
There
go.
it goes.
There we
Yeah. All right. So is it like a really janky looking place?
No, it's really nice.
Huh.
Like it's made of like this like polished red wood. It's actually got like glass windows. But it's like the inside is lit by candlelight though. And even though it is night, it is open.
I'm not gonna go in.
Pussy.
I didn't think you would, but I just want to point out that if you're doing a full tour, you do eventually come across the place.
Yeah.
VR.
Oh, you know what I will do though. You know what I will do? I'll like go to the exterior, and I have my wand of detect magic. Will that work through a wall?
Through a certain amount of wall.
Well, like there's windows and stuff. I could be like, hey.
You do not detect any magic.
Oh, that's lame. Okay. I'll give like a that's weird.
Hmm.
And then I guess just be on my merry way.
Okay. So yeah, you continue on your way, you do your tour. So yeah, Fergarg, where are you jumping ropes? And Storian is wanting to spot you at some point.
I mean, I probably would have been right around where where the kids hang out, wherever that is.
I mean, it's all over the place.
We'll
There's
go.
kids all over the colony.
We'll go right here by this big building, so everyone can see me.
Okay, that is like a guard outpost.
Sounds good.
So you're out there jumping rope in front of like the garrison for the merchant district.
Nice.
If you're walking around, you will eventually spot him, but he's not near the drunken bear.
Totally. I mean, I would be heading towards the drunken bear.
Okay.
most likely.
Okay. So yeah, you get to the drunken bear, and just for the sake of ease, we'll say that that's Colby's there performing music. MC and his assistants are there, maybe having a drink or so,
On a hot date.
schmoozing.
Interesting.
And
I
we are
would-
communicating.
I would get. Wait, what?
If Dorian comes in to the Drunken Bear and I'm tipsy, I will buy him a drink.
All right, I was gonna say I was gonna get a drink, but I'll get the next round, I guess.
Okay. So as long as you aren't at a meager lifestyle or below, you can do that without having to pay any actual money.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's where everybody's at. The bar's in full swing. Everybody's dancing. Couple fights break out. Bouncers kick them out.
Jeez. Does the drunken bear have like really high shelf alcohol?
Probably not like really high shelf, but I mean they've got some decent stuff.
Well, second round, Vishla, I would be getting us whatever the bar has, the absolute best that they have.
Okay,
Whiskey.
and that raises a good point because I like the finer things, and you can't get very fine things here. Katie, come here.
Okay.
Katie, come here.
So she'll eventually walk over there and say, "What's up?"
Okay, I have noticed that the quality of the alcohols in this establishment could be a little better. So I think what I would like to do is to donate some money to the bear so that when I come back, we will have some better alcohols for my friends and everyone.
I mean, yeah,
Goodbye.
it's like, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I could do that. This isn't really the kind of establishment for like any like high-end drinking, but I mean, I can keep
I
it
think
on.
that should change. I
I-
think you could
I-
get a better. No, I mean like drunk and interrupting her. I think you could get a better clientele and nicer people, and these people are all fine. But why stop there? Here, have some money.
Okay, so she'll take the money and just say thank you, and then go back to the bar.
How much do I think would be, if I'm drunk, a good amount to donate to the bar to restock its shelves with some better liquor?
I guess make insight.
Oh, it is not my night.
So you're like 50 gold sounds like.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you start counting out 50 gold, I'd be like, you know what? Let me help you with that, and I'll give you 25 of the 50.
Oh, fair enough. I like you better.
Even though you may not remember it in the
I actually said that.
I'll acknowledge that it makes sense.
Oh god. Oh, Aaron.
I think
He obviously hasn't looked at it.
You're on mute.
Oh, I saw. I'm. Oh, not that second one.
What's that?
Just so you know, I have a pretty high charisma.
Hey, charisma can still translate. You can still be ugly and have a high charisma. Like,
Just be
generally,
true.
people think with a high charisma that you should be pretty, but you could just be a charismatic person and not be very attractive.
It's true.
I'm also
You
very
can be ugly as shit and still be incredibly good at speaking.
Yes.
Hey.
All right. So yeah, you guys are all in the bar, having your drinks and everything, and night passes. Where's everybody sleeping in the night?
I will be sleeping in my own home.
Okay.
Also, Vishal, I don't know if you give a shit, but there would be a small bat sitting on my shoulder the entire time that I was hanging out with you.
I probably don't notice. If I do notice, I like it.
Sweet.
Depending on how drunk I got, I would either go home or sleep with the drunken bear.
That's up to you. Your home is like literally like 2 blocks away from the Drunken Bear.
Then I
So.
would probably go home to sleep.
I got a long trek home.
Yes, you
Oh.
do.
I'll crash at the bear.
Okay. JJ, where are you sleeping?
Probably in the streets.
Don't ask me where my assistant's staying. I pay her. She'll find her own place.
Uh huh.
If you stay at the Bear, she'll rent a room at the Bear too, because she doesn't really know what to do. Actually, you know, she probably wouldn't. She'd probably, she'd probably go and like find like a tent or something like that.
Sleep
Like,
outside near Fergard.
Probably not near Fergarg since he was on the other side of the district, but she'll be sleeping in similar accommodations.
Okay, fair enough. That's one thing that I was gonna do when we were out doing our little walk in the day was she's gonna have like a weapon that she's more proficient with than others. I would buy her one, like if it's like a bow or a sword or whatever.
Okay. She would probably use.
Sorry, I'm eating while we're playing. My dinner was late.
That's okay.
She'd probably just use like a short sword. Yeah. So she'd tell you that a short sword is fine, but she tends to focus more on her powers.
That's really good to know. Okay. Well, I'm going to bed.
Okay. All right. So the next day comes, and you guys wake up, and
Everybody wakes up, except
except Meepo the Pepe, whose throat has been slit tonight.
oh, don't
Oh, Mafia got
Arthur,
it.
Arthur looks at him and looks at you, and he's like, "Not me."
tease. You didn't really kill Meepo, did you?
No.
Okay, good.
I did consider whether or not Arthur would do it or not.
Arthur,
Arthur's like super jealous.
I like your initiative.
All right. So yeah, everybody's fine. It's next day. What are you guys doing?
I don't have anything else going on. Like I feel like I've taken everything, so I'd like to start making travel preparations to go out to her little village.
Okay. So, you don't need to make a roll or anything. It's pretty common sense that you want to make sure you get some like rations and like things like that. She will tell you that it is not a quick trip.
Okay.
That one way or the other, we're either gonna have to get a boat or we're gonna have to swim because it is
Oh.
not. It's more of a island.
Okay.
So she like as part of like telling you about the tribe, she'll tell you there's a lot of different tribes, but there's only 7 that are recognized. The rest of them are all like feral or cannibals or something like that, and they have
Right, I
like,
knew about those.
so she'll tell you there's only 7 here that are recognized. All of them know of each other and work okay with each other, but they're not like necessarily all friends. But she'll tell you that some of them are camped here on this main part, not far from the colony. Hers is not one of them. Even though they don't like her tribe because her tribe does not embrace bringing back your ancestors. And her tribe also, their powers are different than other powers here. So she'll describe it to you like she's like, so the things that you can do are, like you can call upon like the elements to like damage people or make people fast and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, my powers affect people's minds.
Which is awesome.
She's like, I can't like conjure up like any kind of elements or anything like that. Like I just think things and it happens.
That's super cool. I'm into that.
Uh,
That's my fetish.
But she says that a lot of the other tribes don't trust her tribe because they like their stuff works when other people's powers don't. And that and because they don't actually have to like say things out loud to make their stuff activate, then they can catch people off guard or mess with their minds without them knowing it. And so the tribes are very skittish about that.
I like it. So I'm totally cool with that. So we got to get a boat and we got to get some food for the boat. Finn has a boat, doesn't he?
I was say, if you're going around doing all that, Finn will be like, I'll tell you what, mate, I'll give you a ride. No problem at all.
Yeah, because that'd be great.
He's like, you think there are going to be some more hotties just like this one there? Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I like to cut your jib.
I like the Cuddy-O jib. So yeah, I guess we need to start making preparations for that. So like Finn can go get the boat prepped and everything, and then I will grab Dorian and Colby and hopefully find Fergard along the way, let them know what's up, and then swing by the baby shop.
All right.
I would somewhat protest, but I would be like, you know what? I'm at least curious enough to see this place.
Not everybody has to go into the shop. I want to go check it out because I want to go see what kind of curios he has and like.
I know JJ wants to go.
Yeah.
Vishula, it sounded, was kind of ambivalent.
I have other things I need to be doing right now.
You can hang outside and watch the. Oh, you do have somewhere you got to be.
I
So-
have been
I was gonna go down the line, but JJ's not sitting there, so I will go to you, Vishla. You wake up, it's daytime. Make a untrained intelligence check to try to remember the previous night.
That's better.
So you remember that you remember that Dorian came in and you bought him a drink, and then he bought you a nicer drink, and you guys split the cost of a high-end bottle to be brought in for next time you're drinking. You remember that you tried to figure out where the Dawn Council was, and none of your friends knew. So, yeah.
But I started a very rousing chorus. Fuck the thirsty gorilla.
Yes.
Okay, I will clean myself up and go present myself.
I
Down.
keep forgetting music. I should have had like the damn pub music playing the whole
Yeah,
time.
they have a lot of really cool ambient music set up now in playlists and things. Roll20's improved.
Always forget. Like I have a whole list of things that I like to do. Like I got
Yeah.
so I got this tavern music, but my usual one's this one.
It's like the Cantina song.
Kind of pissed.
I like it.
All right, but we'll just turn the city sounds on.
Sweet.
All right, so
Um, So yeah, I'm gonna go clean myself up and then start asking around about the Dawn Council again, where I can find it.
okay, so make a investigation check.
Again? He just disappeared. God damn it!
Okay, so you ask around, and some people are like, let's see. Damn it. Let's see. Where did they? I thought I chose a building for them. Let's see. I guess I didn't. Apparently, I didn't give them a place. So we're gonna say that they are housed in for today. Yeah, we'll do it this way since you had trouble finding where they're at. The reason why is that they don't ever meet in the same place because they're having a grand hall built and they haven't finished it yet. So right now they rotate between the estates of the founding families.
They're circuit judges.
So the today they are at the Arabani Manor, which is here.
Okay. And the blue is the drunken bear,
Yes.
and the purple's my house.
Yes.
Well, once I get cleaned up, I will head over that way.
I guess I need to also highlight Wes's house since he has a house now.
That I do.
What's your favorite color, Wes?
But
Well, purple, but
That's Colby's
it's
colors
already
now.
being used. Colby. Maybe like a. No, it could be green, I guess. That's not been used yet.
So your house is
Fergar, do all of you guys have tattoos from The Lotus Dragons?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Maybe.
I assumed Furgargs would probably be visible.
Burgers is probably visible.
I was just curious, were Urals visible?
No, I didn't.
Furgargs,
I just don't tend to wear short-sleeve shirts.
Furgargs
Right.
would be visible, running around without a. Actually, no. He has a breastplate on, and. But yeah, most of the time he'd probably run around without a shirt on. Only when he goes adventuring does he put on his breastplate.
Gotcha.
So you're walking around town with, like, didn't you get it on your chest?
Yes.
So you're walking around with your tattoo, like, blatantly visible?
Is that a bad thing?
I don't know, is it?
Furgarg doesn't know, so he would. No one ever told him, so he's going to do it.
It's awesome.
So, alright, so your house is in Green, Dorian.
Okie dokie.
Alright, so let's loop back to JJ real quick since he wasn't at his chair.
Sure.
So JJ, it's the next day, and you can do pretty much whatever you want, but at some point, Aaron is going to like come and find you and let you know that he's going to check out that shop that
Cool.
allegedly buys and sells babies or whatever.
Furgarg puts on his breastplate. Let's go.
But what else are you going to do in the day? Because that's not his first priority.
Furgarg is. He's gonna wake up. And he is going to go and buy breakfast for a bunch of kids.
Okay. So, let's see. All right, so you go and you spend some money. It only takes like, a copper per child, so spend however much you want to buy breakfast for children.
Okay.
So yeah, you go and do that. Anything else you're doing during your time?
That'd be it.
So eventually, you know where the Dawn Council is meeting today.
I'm going there.
Okay.
Doing this.
So you go there, and there are guards out front. And when you come walking up, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing my fine ass clothes.
Okay. Are you wearing your new ring?
Yes.
So you come walking up, and they'll be like, so they'll look at you and they'll say, "Greetings, Baron."
Good day.
And they say, "Do you have business here today?"
I do. There seems to be some sort of confusion. I found this on the door of my damn it, hold on. I found this on the door of my third home, and I don't know what's going on. There's some sort of an issue.
Okay. So he's like, "May I see it?"
Certainly.
So he takes it and he passes it over to another guard, and you see that guard like casting, and then he's like looking at it, and he says, "Yes, it would seem that charges have been brought against you, stating that you illegally acquired property from another property owner, posing as a government official and claiming the domicile as needed for government work. Dawn Council looked into this claim and does not have any record of that home being needed for any government work here. So they have summoned you in order to be able to have you come and defend the charges that are being brought against you."
Yes, I'm here to speak with them about it. It can be all cleared up, I'm sure.
Of course. I will show you to the sitting room. We can bring you refreshments until the Dawn Council is convened and is ready to see you.
Some water, please, my good man. I'm a bit parched.
Of course. So one of the guards leads you in, and it's like a manor. Like, you go in there, it's really nice, great furnishings. Like, just in the foyer alone, there's enough wealth that would make you look poor. So like, it's really well done. Columns that are like carved out, all kinds of like painting, nicely polished wood flooring, just all of the torches in there are like clearly magical. They're not radiating any kind of smoke or heat. So yeah, they lead you to a room. Pretty spacious, lots of sitting space. There's a full like banquet table there, with not a huge spread, but there's quite a bit of food there and water and things like that. And you see like different paintings of different individuals that are lining the walls. And you see like a painting of what it looks like to be entering into the colony through the main gates.
Man, they must have a lot of money.
Founding family. They kind of built this place.
I shall wait
Bunch of assholes.
and drink my water.
Okay. So you wait for probably like 30 minutes
Wow.
before you're summoned, and they take you to like an audience chamber, where you see like 12 different individuals sitting at a table. They're sipping wine. They offer you some,
Why, thank you.
and they're what is your Baron name?
Coral DeMarcus.
Okay, so they're like Baron DeMarcus. I don't believe that any of us have had the pleasure of meeting you, but we welcome you here in the colony. And somebody's like, we really need to stop calling it that. And they give it another name, and others like, we've gone over this. We're going with this name, and but that doesn't last for very long. And they're like, the guy at the head of the table is like, gentlemen and ladies, he says, we have a guest. We're here to discuss the charges that are being brought against the good Baron DeMarcus from the old world.
Are we standing or sitting?
They are sitting. You are standing. They have not
When they
offered.
say that, sorry.
They offered you wine, but not a seat.
Okay. When he starts saying all that about we have a guest, blah, 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 I will bow obsequiously and flamboyantly before them.
Okay. So he says, Baron DeMarcus, please have a seat at the other end of the table there. He says,
Thank you.
He says, I apologize for having to summon you in such crude manner. We did send a coach for you, but you were not available for 3 days. So we had to just leave a missive at the door to let you know that we needed to speak with you.
They say I was missing for 3 days.
He said that they tried for 3 days
Okay.
to come and get you.
My apologies, my good lords and ladies. Are there any females there?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies, my good lords and ladies. I was out adventuring and doing good for the colony and spreading the good word. I was busy. I am here now, and I'd like to clear up this misunderstanding with this property.
And they said yes. So we had a individual and his wife and 2 children claim that you came to their home, which they had spent all of the money that they brought with them from the old world to have built, and claims that you gave them a very meager and short-handed amount, stating that you were claiming the property for the government. We have gone over our records, feeling that this must have been a misunderstanding, as a baron from the old world would not be so blatantly deceitful. And they said, but we could not find anything in our records. Do you happen to have the requisition forms that came from your government? Because since it didn't come from ours, I assume it must have come from the old world. Do you happen to have your forms that stated that you were to requisition that certain property?
No. Let me explain, please. There has been a large misunderstanding, okay? I don't know why these peasants would choose to behave this way, but here's what happened. I came to this land, and I came from the old world to make treaty with the Dawn Council and do the best that I could to raise up this new colony. I needed a place to stay for the night before I could go seek out Dawn Council's wisdom. I knocked on this fellow's door, and I asked him if I could rent his home for the evening rather than spend on ostentatious chambers. He invited me in and offered me to stay there. I said, why, thank you, but "But where will your family stay?" He said, "No, no, 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 you take it." I said, "I only need it for a night or two." He said, "No, no, no, you take it. You take it." And I said, "Well, at least let me pay you. At least let me pay you, sir. I can't put you out on your own." And he said, "No, no, no." And I said, "Yes." And I gave him the gold. And I felt terrible about it, but the man was so insistent. I suppose he respected me as a baron from the old world. I suppose I should have just gotten a hotel room, but I thought this would be much less ostentatious.
He says, "All right, so you should make a deception."
That's really good. I want you to roll so high.
It has not been my day.
Roll high. Roll high.
Can
I want
I-
this to work so bad.
Wait, hang on, because can I really want that to work. Can I bardic inspiration myself or something? Or is that only in
It was
combat?
kind of an orator speech.
I
How's
don't.
my
I mean,
inspiration
if
work?
it allows you to target yourself, then you can.
I don't know if
Bonus
you can.
action on your turn, and I can use it on myself.
You can.
Oh no, other than yourself. Sorry.
Yeah.
Way to
Um,
go, me. I'm inspired.
I know. Oh well. Wait, let me check my inventory, make sure I don't have anything that might help me with that.
Don't forget you have cards too. I don't know what you have in your hand.
I'll
but-
double check them, but I don't think any of those are going to help.
I may have looked at yours because one of mine sucks, and I was trying to find one to trade with.
Mine sucks.
Did you say that we can't trade our
No.
inspiration cards?
Yeah, they're physical items that you
Okay.
carry in your inventory, and when you use them, they actually rip and release the magic.
Oh, interesting.
Alright, y'all. Wish me luck. What am I at? Deception?
Yes.
Hey.
Okay.
Finally a decent roll.
Good
Damn.
one.
That was only a middling roll too. That was a 12. Or no, that was an 11 that I rolled. Or no, a 12.
Okay, so they look at each other and they say, "Oh, that definitely makes a lot more sense." I can't necessarily agree with why you would go to an individual's home, but your explanation of it definitely does make sense. So I feel like in this situation that there are two options that we can do. Either you would need to pay the full value of the home to the family in order to continue to remain in that residence, or you can vacate the home and the family can move back in, and we won't have them pay back any of the money you gave since you gave it as a night's rent. So you may make the choice as the Baron. I feel, and he's like, and if any of you disagree, please speak up. And he says, but I feel that as a Baron of the old world, if there's a house that you want, and you can afford to buy it outright, you should just be able to do it.
I agree with you, sir. And let me tell you, to be honest, that the accommodations are a bit on the poor side, if you take my meaning. I will need a new home. I will be happy to allow this family back in, and they can take the payment for the time that I've spent there. But I will need to be pointed to some other accommodations. I believe after talking to some locals that houses must be built, and I need somewhere to live now.
And he says, well, that will be a problem. Most everybody who has come here to the colony has either come with a land grant or has paid for a land grant. So we have land that is available for purchase that has nothing built on it. But as far as those that are built, it's already, nobody has built any accommodations that they built to sell. They built them for use. He says, however, there's always people who are foolish enough to venture out thinking they're adventurers when they aren't, or whatever the case, they leave the colony and they don't come back. I'm sure if we checked our records, we could probably find a few buildings that that are unclaimed property.
If I might make a suggestion,
We're open to hear it.
the ship that I came from the old world on had a gentleman on it, last name of Highborn, and he accompanied me on several excursions that I made in order to clear the lands around the colony. Unfortunately, he proved to be of not sound mind, and he ended up in some trouble with some locals and died. But I believe his residence may now be available.
Okay. He's like, he says, what was his name?
Baron Highborn.
Do you remember his appointment?
Appointment.
Yes. If he was
I'm
living,
asking that out of character. Do I know what he's talking about?
It's what he came
Hey-
here. What his job was.
yeah,
He
what he
came
came here to do.
I don't. Colby doesn't remember what Vishal would. So.
He did something. He was the on the guard duty service with what's her face Vanderborn.
Latvinia.
You guys also know that that wasn't his appointed position. Like that was, he got appointed that when he got here. He was supposed to come here and be either a field ranger or a sheriff within the colony.
Oh, that's
And
right.
when he had reported for duty, because you guys had spent time on the island and didn't get here when you were supposed to, they were like, "Oh, we went ahead and filled that position. We thought that your ship was lost at sea. We'll have to find something else for you. The only thing we have open is this guard position within one of the noble families."
So I say that I believe he was appointed as perhaps a sheriff, but there was no position for him here when he got here. He ended up being a guard for some private residence.
Do you happen to know what family he was appointed to?
Yes, it was the Vanderborns.
Okay, make a insight check.
Oh, you don't know yet.
Oh wait.
Two.
Well, I do know, but that probably wouldn't change what Vishal would say.
Okay. So
What?
you notice that they, like, when you say the name, they kind of exchange glances, and then the guy at the head of the table, he says, which I guess he probably would have introduced himself. His name is Anaphastus, and he says, as it would happen, he says, the Vanderborns are. Well, they're not part of the Dawn Council anymore.
What you meaning, sir?
He says, well, tragedy has befallen that family. I don't think that it was their destiny to be here. They first landed here not long after the matron and patron of the family died in a tragic fire in the docks, left their 2 children, who were adults, but, left them with the estate. The he says Vanthus Vanderborn is reported as dead, and Lavinia is also being reported as dead, as her estate was burned to the ground 2 days ago.
My word.
Yeah, it looks like all of her household staff, guards, everything were slaughtered.
How could such a thing happen?
He says, we are conducting an investigation to find out exactly what happened, because if we have somebody of that kind of sway to be able to go in there and take out an entire manor of a founding family unnoticed, that's definitely a security hazard. But because of that, that also means that all of the homes that are surrounding that estate are potentially open. Until the investigation is closed, we can't actually release them. And he says, since you happen to know of this one specific person, he says, I'm sure that, I mean, we've confirmed that this person wasn't here during that. And they're like, we have no record of finding any remains of a Baron Highborn or anything like that.
Never will.
They're like, we did check his home. It looked like nobody had used it in a while. But yeah, it is currently vacant, and they're like, yes, I would say that if you were, we'll make it very simple for just to clear up this misunderstanding and make sure that everybody is on in good standing. You will return the home back to his family. Mr. Highborn's estate will be turned over to you. And the only price that you will have to pay will be to actually the taxes to Dawn Council for that land deed.
Which is
He looks over and he says, let's see. Okay, he says, Mr. Kalani, can you look at the records and determine how much that land deed is worth? And he says, I'm sorry, Baron. I apologize. What did you say your name was again?
Baron Coral DeMarcus.
And you see him like pull out another book and start flipping through it, and then he looks up at you and he looks back at the book and he closes it, opens up another book, goes through there, and he says, I show that the only land parcel that was not behind on taxes with the Vanderborn estate was that one land parcel. So technically, he should owe nothing. And
How fortuitous.
he says, really? And he says, yes, that is very fortuitous that because the Vanderborns were very much in debt. Not common knowledge, but you know, as a noble of high standing such as yourself, I trust that you would not be much of a gossiper. He says, he says, Lord Kalani, if you could draw up the paperwork to turn everything over to Baron DeMarcus, I think we can conclude the business here.
Thank you very much, lords and ladies. I appreciate your understanding in this matter. I will return to the original house, gather my things, and then move on to Lord Highborn's or Sir Highborn's house. I would, if I may, impress upon you to add one more thing.
He says, I do believe you mean Lord DeMarcus's home.
Yes, obviously. If I may impress upon you for one more thought.
Of course.
You know, now that I have had a chance to formally meet all of you fine ladies and gentlemen, and it appears that you're having some trouble with families and all that, and you know of my pedigree from the old world, if there is anything else that I can ever do for the Dawn Council to assist or to hold some sort of a position, whatever small it may be, please do not ever hesitate to call upon me at this home.
He says, that's very gracious of you. We definitely have need for capable, noble blood that is also willing to venture out of the colony. You have left and you have returned, so you and your servants are obviously very capable. So he says, so we will definitely keep that in mind, and we shall summon you if we have any need to have anything accomplished.
Very well. I thank you all for your time.
Okay, so you get up to leave, and let's see.
Well, that worked out swimmingly for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm glad Kevin wasn't here to watch me steal his motherfucking house.
He's gonna be super pissed.
So that's what was happening there. I was like, who is this guy and what
That was Kevin's first character that died because of Joe.
So as you're,
you son of a bitch.
so Colby, you stand and you go to leave, and then you hear another human male, and he says, Lord DeMarcus, one more thing, please.
Yes?
Or he says Baron DeMarcus, not Lord. He says, Baron DeMarcus. He says, I am Lord Dractus. And he says, I do have one more matter that I would like to address with you.
Sure,
He
I have
says-
nothing but time.
He says, I have been conducting the investigation into the missing missing status of our harbor master, a Salar Vark. And he says,
Oh shit!
in my investigation, I show eyewitness account of him being last seen with somebody who meets your description, and oddly of the description of your servants that you tend to travel with. Would you care to comment about anything about our harbor master going missing?
I did encounter this man. Hold on, because I need to go out of character for a second. If I remember correctly, Vark worked for Rowan, and Rowan sent Finn to figure out what happened to Vark, right?
A little bit of all. So Vark was the harbor master for the Dawn Council. Rowan had
Right.
fought him under the table to be like doing things for her. And you guys had discovered that he was actually delivering goods to the Crimson Fleet. And that was what got burned up in the hold of the ship.
Okay.
So he basically was triple dipping. Because he was working officially for the Dawn Council, was in Rowan's pocket, and was on the side selling things to the Crimson Fleet.
And Vishla knows all that?
Yes. And
Perfect.
now you guys know that like the Crimson Fleet is like the mortal enemies of like the colony. Like the Dawn Council can't stand them. They pay bounties on the regular to have like those pirates killed. and the pirates are like constantly always attacking like merchant ships coming in from the old world to the colony.
I did encounter that man while I was keeping a low profile. Why do you ask?
Well, he has gone missing. Anytime somebody of high standing within our government goes missing, it warrants an investigation.
I assume if you've investigated this man, you know of his sinister dealings with enemies of the colony, correct?
That is not information that you are of high enough standing to be shared with. He says, "What I can tell you is that in my investigation, you were the last, or somebody meeting your description, and the description of your servants were the last people seen in his presence."
Very interesting. I'm not sure why that would be, but if I could locate or provide him, what would be the consequences of such?
Lord Dractus is like, "Well, I mean, you've already offered your services to the Dawn Council in any way possible, and the ultimate service would be to provide any information you know, and if you find any more, to immediately report it to the Dawn Council. It is your duty as a highborn citizen of this colony to assist the Dawn Councils in matters like this."
Yes, of course. What if I find this Vark and he does not want to come quietly? What if something should happen to him in transit?
Oh, do not try to take him yourself. We would never ask that of you. If something were to happen to you, Lord Dractus is like, "I just don't know what I would do." And he's like, I don't feel comfortable with noble blood being spilled on the Dawn Council's watch." And he says, "So please do not burden yourself to take him yourself, but report any sightings of him to us immediately so that we can send a proper force to take care of it."
No, I insist. I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. I will find this man. I will bring him to you at all costs.
Okay, so when you say that, another male like slams his fist down on the table and he says, "No." He says, "Baron DeMarcus," he's like, "I must insist. You must know your place. You may be a noble, but you are not a founding family, and you are not of the Dawn Council's recognized bloodlines within this colony. You may have had authority where you came from, but here you are just barely above the peasantry." And he says,
No.
He says, "I insist that when you are told to not intervene, that you adhere to our ruling."
This is the second guy? This isn't the first guy?
This is a different guy. This is that has not
What
yet
the fuck
spoke.
are here? Is this one of the people that was in the meeting, or is it a brand new guy?
It's one of the people in the meeting. There's like 12 people sitting at the table.
Very well, my lord. I apologize. I do know my place. I will not engage him. If I hear anything, I will, of course, let the Dawn Council know immediately.
The guy sitting at the head of the table, what was his name again?
Not Draxus.
No, not Lord Dractus.
You told me to.
I already lost his name.
Xantharpus or
Yeah.
something.
Anaphasis. He says, "Baron DeMarcus," he's like, "I must apologize." He says, "Lord, where did his name go now? God damn it." He says, "Lord Islarn is this is a very sensitive matter to him, as Vark was intended to be his daughter's husband. So he's very sensitive about this matter." And Islarn is like, "It does not impair my judgment." He says, "Vark is missing." He says, "The Baron was given strict instructions and is trying to position himself to be able to gain our favor. Admirable, Baron DeMarcus, as it may be." He says, "This is not the old world, and we do not adhere to the same policies that were there." He says, "If this council says that they do not want you to trouble yourself with the detention of somebody that is that we are seeking, then we mean do not attempt to detain him. He says, if you get information, you send word to us, either through a servant, through carrier pigeon, whatever method that you choose to use. But get the word to us, and we will take care of it from there.
Very well, my lord.
Wow,
I
that was
bow
a bit much.
extra deep to him.
Time to fuck this guy up.
And then
Yeah,
I
that
start
guy
to leave.
just kind of like went off the deep end, man. That dude's need to take some Percocet.
Yeah, very well, my lord. I bow extra deep. I look around everyone. If I hear any information about this Vark, I will, of course, report it immediately. And I
Dude.
believe.
Just leave him in your painting.
Okay. Draxus is still like, you still haven't addressed the initial question.
I thought that I did, my lord. I did encounter him while I was working on other things with my people that accompany me, and I was trying to keep a low profile. I don't know what happened to him after that. I know only that from my dealings with him and my commerce within this community that he is no friend to the colony.
He says, and what was the nature of your business with the harbor master?
Well, to be honest, it's a bit embarrassing. You have eyes in and around this place, I believe.
Of course.
You may have noticed I came accompanied by 2 small kobolds.
Servants, no doubt.
Yes, I have a predilection for kobold servants. I'm very fond of them. I find that their groveling nature pleases me. Well, one of these kobolds came over with me from the old world, and he is most dear to me. Well, he went missing, and I traced him back to Vark, and I believe that he had been in Vark's possession at some point. He escaped. I have him again, but like I said, from my dealings with Vark, I knew that he had something to hide, and he was no friend of the colony. Whatever happened to him, he had it coming.
Alright. The Islarn is like, outrageous. He's like, no. He says you're going to come in here and you're going to, and he says you are going to accuse my future son-in-law of being a traitor to this colony.
I accuse no one, my lord. I apologize. I speak only of what I know.
Draxus will say, thank you for sharing that. Vishla, you should make a deception.
Time to
Good
start.
luck.
That was almost the truth. by
Almost
way.
the truth. If you would actually stopped with that, you had just paid Vark to help you locate the kobold, I probably wouldn't even made a roll. But since some of it was twisted a little, there is some deception in there. Okay, so he's like, thank you again for coming to visit us, Baron DeMarcus. If you have any further need with the Dawn Council, please send word to us. We will be glad to schedule you an appointment as quickly as we can.
Yes, my lords. It was my pleasure.
So they bid you good day, and you're able to leave. When you're leaving, let's see, what is that one?
Sounds like we have some fools that need icing.
Let me look here. There's what district is that? That's the one I'm looking for. There we go. All right, so one of them will rise from the table and will like walk out with you. He's definitely an older man. He's advancing in years, and he walks out with you, and he says, Baron DeMarcus. He says Warren Lindu. He says I will be representing the what I hope to be called the Noble District. Once we finish completion, but you know how nobles are. Everything has to be perfect and spotless and expensive, and so it takes time to build things like that.
Of course.
He says, let me escort you to the door. He's like, I would like to have a brief conversation with you.
Oh, regarding what?
So he walks with you, and he says, So he walks with it and he says, "So as I mentioned, I do plan for the district, the plot of lands that I own that I am building up. I am reserving for only the most highest class citizenry within the district or within the colony." And he says, I'm impressed by you." He says, "You show humility while being very direct, and very quick to be able to rectify any wrongs that you may have occurred." And he says, "It's exactly the kind of nobility that I would like living within my land." He says, "So while you have been granted this," and he kind of rolls his eyes, and he's like, "this paltry shack of a home that was on the former Vanderborn estate," he says, "I would like to welcome that once things get rolling a little bit better within my district. Perhaps we could talk about a reasonable rate for land purchase there, and you could build a house more suitable to your liking."
Perhaps. As you may have heard me mention, this home that the misunderstanding occurred over was my third home at the time. I had two back in the colony. I will be selling those, of course, once I establish permanent residence here. The home of my former companion will serve as a perfectly suitable location as I adventure around. But at some point, I will want to settle down and enjoy what my endeavors have borne fruit. So yes, I think that would be a good conversation to have at some point.
Okay, so he will tell you where you can locate his manor in the new district, and he'll give you. And he says, "No one is able to enter the district until any district here until it is complete." And he says, "Unless they are building something there." And he says, "I'm gonna." He says, "I will give you the passphrase that you can give the guards to be able to go through when you are ready to talk about a land deal within the noble district. Um, Please come see me at my manor." And he tells you where you would be able to find it.
Glorious. I appreciate your vote of confidence. I look forward to meeting with you again in the future. I'll shake his hand.
Okay. And then he'll say, "I must admit, I also have a alternate reason that I wanted to speak with you as well." He says, "There, we have some vaults here that we are having built for the noble families within the colony." And he says, "Right now, only the founding families have a vault constructed there, but we are constructing other vaults. We're always looking for others that would need a place to be able to store their wealth. I would appreciate it if you would consider my bank for all your banking needs."
Absolutely.
Of
Where is
course.
the bank located?
He'll tell you, and it's pretty much the same place that you guys went to for the Vanderborn vault.
Okay.
He'll tell you it's on an island, it's still within the colony's borders. There's a ruined castle there that I hope to have rebuilt. And he says, but more importantly, is the underneath is already had some secured vaults. We're expanding those. And the stone that is there has unique properties in the sense of that magic cannot penetrate it. It cannot affect it. It cannot see through it. It cannot do anything with it. So the only kind of thieves that could possibly get into our vaults would be thieves that have only conventional methods to do so. And I assure you that we will have plenty of security in place to be able to prevent the best thieves from getting in there."
This sounds like a very effective place to keep my money. I think I shall go visit there today, as a matter of fact.
He says, "Please do." He says, "It's not quite open for business yet, but if you mention my name and tell them that I sent you there to look at a potential future plot for your vault, they will definitely show you around."
Thank you.
And he says, "Have a good day." He says, "Have a good day, and thank you for your time."
Good day to you, sir.
All right.
God damn.
All right.
Well done, good sir.
It's a good
Now-
day for Vishal.
Now, more importantly, Colby, are you actually going to give up the home?
Yes. So that would actually be the first place I would go. Would be go back to the house and retrieve all my shit and cart it to the new house.
Okay.
Which I would assume would take me quite a while.
Yeah, if you're doing it by yourself, yes.
Yeah, you got people to carry stuff
Well,
for you.
I've got Meepo and Arthur if they choose to assist me.
Right.
And
Uh,
Ambrosius.
You'll notice that Arthur is not riding Ambrosius.
Alright.
He's leading him around. When you're moving, he'll like use him as like a pack animal kind of thing, but he like does not ride him at all.
I'll
Why is
probably
that?
ask him about that.
He'll tell you. He says. He says, I was never very skillful at riding Ambrosius, and I fear that if I had continued down that path, that I may have hurt myself. He says, I don't want to risk it any further, and Ambrosius seems to be happier not being used as a mount, so instead we'll just treat her with respect and let her carry herself.
Okay, as long as you keep an eye on her, Arthur.
Meepo's like, I'm happy to ride her.
I look at Arthur like,
He's like, if Ambrosius is okay with it, I'm okay with it.
I look at Meepo like,
Meepo's like, I'll have to wait till tomorrow before I can tell you whether or not Ambrosius is okay with me doing it.
okay.
All right, so Dorian, you still there?
Yep.
All right, what are you doing with your day?
I mean, until Aaron came and fetched me to tell me that that Finn was gonna use the ship to give them a ride, then I would probably just be at home.
Okay, so you're not doing anything of note for the day?
Nope, not particularly.
Okay.
When in port, I like to live my life in comfort.
Well, then all we need is for MC to come back and tell me when he's going to go where.
Attack!
I'm gonna get a beer while I'm waiting on
I'm
him.
gonna get a beer.
Cool. All right.
Sorry about that. I had to pee.
All right, MC. So we're back to you.
Yep. Okay.
Everybody's done what they want to do for the day. So whenever you're able to collect the supplies that you need, I don't know if you're buying for everybody or just you and your assistant.
I am buying for myself and my assistant.
Okay. So she will tell you that you're probably going to want to take several days worth of food and water.
Okay. I've got a few days worth on me now.
She will recommend that you may want to think about purchasing a gift to present to the elder.
What kind of thing would they go for?
She says, they like things that where somebody has put effort into it and personalized it. She says, I wouldn't go for anything that is of mass manufacture or anything like that. Just something thoughtful.
Okay. I will
tall order.
try making a crude effigy during our travel.
Okay. So you're going to actually spend time crafting?
Yeah.
All right, so you gather your supplies. What do you do after you have supplied for your journey? You talk to Finn. Finn's like, yeah, just let me know when you're ready.
What kind of like terrain are we gonna be moving through?
Depends on which. I mean, you're gonna be at sea for a lot of it, and then once you get there, she'll tell you that there'll be that you'll have to go up some jungle paths before you'll come to the village.
Okay. So so it's not really gonna be a good idea to bring a horse and a cart.
She says that's up to you and your ship. She says, but the terrain to get from the shores for pack animals. It's a steep incline to go from the shores up to the jungle, but from there it'd be fine.
Think we got room on the boat for a wagon and a horse?
Yeah, Finn would be like, "Oh yeah, my boat would hold plenty more."
Okay. I'm gonna buy a cart and a horse.
Excuse me.
And we'll put that on the boat.
Okay.
Because it's just a draft horse. So that's like 75 gold. 65 gold.
You have to make sure you keep up with like tack and feeding and all that.
Yeah.
All right, so you prepare the ship with all of your rations and supplies.
Mhm.
Then tells you let him know when you're ready to head out, and he'll be ready.
All right. I'll tell him to just kind of like wait at the boat. Do you guys want to go check out that place?
The
baby
baby place.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fergarg went to go.
I'm gonna tell my assistant to wait for us on the boat. To like oversee the provisioning and like getting everything set up.
Who is this?
My assistant.
Okay.
Make sure everything gets loaded up and we're good.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm here for.
Well, she'll say, I
Mhm.
mean, She says, I will do my best, but they won't understand me that well.
Just I'll tell her just point. Like I don't know. Just
when she
point.
says that, Finn is like, "Young lady, I will understand you just fine," and he says it in Ulman.
Ooh, he knows Ulman.
Ooh.
Look at him. And then I'll be like, you see?
You dumb bitch.
Aaron, you should make an insight.
All right.
I don't really know anything about the Ullman.
Okay, you notice that Finn does not have his usual like accent, but he also isn't acting like his like crazy child self either.
What the fuck is up with this guy?
Don't know.
Who cares?
Too many crazy people in this group.
Who cares?
All right, so you're gonna. Who all are you gathering to go to this shop, MC?
Definitely Dorian, because he wanted to go check out the actual like goods with me.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Down with
then
that.
Fergarg because he wanted to maybe blow it up.
Okay.
And
Good luck.
Colby, if he wanted to go, he's welcome to come still.
I'm kind of tied up for the day, so if you're going that way, I'm probably not interested if we happen to
Okay.
run into each other.
So
I
it'll
was
just be the
probably
three of us.
down on council for a while, and now I feel like I got to evacuate that house immediately. So.
Yeah, you got a lot of packing to do.
Back in the heat.
Okay. All right, so you guys are going to the shop.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you've already discovered where it's at, MC, so you're able to get to it just fine. It's over here near Colby's house.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
So far, so good.
House moved.
All of you that go through there will notice that at least, yeah, I mean, since you've all been there before, except for maybe Dorian, you guys will all notice that the Vanderborn estate is in like rubble.
Yeah, I already knew about that.
It's rough.
Fergarg doesn't care.
From your
They,
all's perspective, everybody but Dorian knew that it was coming. I mean, Captain
Well, if-
Captain Javel did tell you that she sent her first mate and what crew did survive to go there and get vengeance for what Vanthus did. So
I actually went to try and warn her, but we were too late.
had you gone straight there when you came back instead of stopping at the Goblin Hawk or going to the Guild Hall, you may have been able to get in time. But
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
No, the fucks. I don't get it.
And I didn't find. I'd like searched the wreckage and I couldn't find her. So.
so you get to the shop. Everything is, I mean, it's open. But yeah, so it's like I said, it's a really nice building. Other than like the manor homes and things like that, as far as a shop, it is probably the best constructed shop that you guys have seen thus far.
I go in.
Nice.
Okay, so you
I'll
go
walk right
in. Oh, I forgot Baron's the only one who's been in here before.
That motherfucker.
So you guys go in and there's a guy that's like sitting behind the counter. and he's dressed in silks. He's definitely an older guy. He's balding, but he's clean shaven. He does keep some what hair he does have. He does keep, but I mean he keeps it well groomed. And you come in. He doesn't have like he has like some candles and whatnot lit. It provides sufficient enough illumination while the place still remains kind of like dim and shadowy. And you come in there and like he's like, oh, he's like, customers, fantastic. What can I do for you?
My initial reply until I figure out what exactly he's got here is I'm gonna be like, oh, we're just
When
browsing right now.
Well, you guys like file in and like Fergard comes in like with you guys. He's like, oh, an ogre. He's like, can't say I ever anticipated your kind coming in here, sir. He's like, please, look around. Let me know if there's anything that interests you.
Okay. Where do you keep babies?
I knew it was gonna come. I knew it was gonna
Oh
happen.
my god.
He's like, babies, sir? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
I'm just gonna nonchalantly look around. It's an ogre asking for babies, like that's the most direct.
Yeah.
He's
He's like, I'm sure that babies are probably a delicacy with your people, and he says, but it is not something that I don't carry food stores here.
I look shocked at his comment of babies.
My frail sensibilities.
Fergarg hear something about you take babies?
Okay. He says, take babies? That's absurd.
You not lie to Fergarg, no?
I have no reason to lie to you, sir. He says, I am a legitimate businessman hoping to make my trade here in the New World, just like most of you probably are trying to do.
And what trade is that?
He says, oh, well, he says, he's like, this world is full of antiquities and ancient civilizations, and he says there's all kinds of adventurers that will bring in things that are from far places and unique things and volumes, and that's my specialty is I don't have any. If somebody were to say, what do you carry in your store, sir? I would just say a little this, a little bit of that. Like I can't really give you a accurate depiction of what is carried here in my store, but I can tell you that it is things that you would be rare to find anywhere else.
So if I were to ask you for a book on the chronological history of this world, what would you say?
He would say, I would say something like that wouldn't exist, and if it did, it would probably be on a stone tablet several miles long.
So wait,
Well then,
you have babies here?
No babies. He says, I have books, trinkets, a few other odds and ends, but no babies.
I look questionably at Aaron.
So you guys can see that the name of his shop he has like on like a plaque behind the counter. And the name of the shop is The Inner Labyrinth, and underneath of it says for all of your occult needs.
full of your occult needs.
Yes.
So I've got this book on me that I got on the Goblin Hulk. It's the one that I traded for that the guy was like, here's some stuff,
Okay.
but we haven't like discussed what's in it yet. Like I'll set that on the counter and I'll be like, so what do you have that's like this?
He puts like some spectacles on, and then he like starts flipping through it, and he says, "This is very interesting." He says, "This appears to be a volume that is documenting the native tribes of this land." And he
So
says,
if I were to ask you for the good stuff, like this, what would you show me?
and he says, "Well," he says, "that's not exactly how I work here." He's like, "You come in and tell me what you're looking for, and then I can tell you whether or not I have it. We could be here for a very long time, me going over everything that would be of this
Okay.
quality or better. And no offense to you, good sir, but many people come in here and have asked that sort of question, and then I go over it with them and they buy nothing, and I waste my time.
Okay, then what do you have on the library on the Central Plateau, the Sleeping God, and the guy named the Omen God of Death?
And he says, okay. He says, I have at least 2 journals of explorers that have made their way to the plateau and their experiences there. He says, I have a map that would show allegedly a safe way to be able to get there. He says, I say allegedly because obviously I haven't sold it. Nobody has tried it. But the person who sold it to me said that they took that path and they made the map and that it is safe. He says, but yes, it supposedly documents a safe path, or the safest path to the Central Plateau.
And how much would a map like that run?
He says, well, that's a difficult question. He says, everything here is practically priceless. He says, it depends. Are you wanting to just pay me in exact coin or work?
Well, I
an
have
arrangement?
wealth. Well, I have wealth. I am interested in what alternative payment methods you might have.
He says, well, he says, I have he says I have plenty of things. He says money is not something that I'm as concerned with. He says I'm a collector. He says I'm open to trade if you have things of rare. He's like this book is a good start. He says knowledge is always something. He says there are many items that are left behind by the old people here that have magical properties. I'm always looking at those because the few formula that have been brought to me show that it takes a very, very long time to be able to make such things. So having something already made would be very useful to me.
Well, unfortunately, this book isn't quite ready for trade. And I take it back over the counter and I'll say, you have some interesting things here, but I feel like your arrangements are not to my liking.
He says, by all means, sir, you can make a alternative suggestion. I'm open. I cannot read your mind. I do not know what you're willing to do and what you're not to do. The best thing you could do is come in here and tell me what you're looking for and what you would offer for as such.
Well, my big, imposing, brutish friend had an excellent point. What about babies?
He's like, I'm afraid that I don't quite like. You're wanting to purchase children?
Well, no, not purchase.
I'm afraid I don't get your meaning then.
It's obviously nothing. But
Wow,
if you
chicken out
change
there.
your mind or want to discuss this in private, you can find me somewhere.
Okay, make a.
I'll be around.
Let's see.
Yeah, you don't bring the silver tongued one with you.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm
You're
doing
all just like, babies, I'll be over here. If
I'm a little confused by this whole situation, so I'm just gonna be like, so I just need to replenish my stock of these specific herbs and incense and shit, and I'll be on my way.
he's like, well, I mean, that's not really my specialty, and just like basic gear and things like that, you can get that. There are several shops around town that would be able to do things like that. I specialize more in the
lame
unique.
stuff.
He says things that you're not going to find anywhere else.
I'll just say, well, I thought that you were the important.
Does he know that? Does
all
he
of
know,
your occult needs is your slogan, I suppose. So I
I
assumed.
does he know about the guy on the Goblin Hawk?
Hang on, I can only address one thing at a time.
No, you got to do it all, Martin.
I can't. He says, so as far as what you're saying, Dorian, he says, yes, my sign says I have all of your occult needs, not all of your arcane needs. He says,
Very well.
if you're diving into something more that is less primitive than magic, or that is more. He says, if you're wanting to dive into something that isn't as primitive as magic, then I might be the source for you. And he says, but if you're just wanting to be able to focus on the everyday talents that people here are developing on their own without any kind of training or research or anything like that, and he says, that's not something I do here. He says, but if you're willing to work hard and you want to actually, learn something that makes you unique and sets you apart from another, then this might be the place for you.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that description's interesting. MC, all yours.
Martin was looking something up, and then I asked if he knew about the guy on the Goblin Hulk.
Yeah, so you should make a persuasion check.
Ooh, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do something I haven't had a chance to do yet, Martin.
Okay.
Before you tell me if it's a success or failure, I'm gonna roll. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna use my new class ability.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend 2 sorcery points, and I'm gonna add a D4 to that roll. Sweet.
Okay. So with the 19, he's like, I guess if I hear of somebody who's in the market to, I still don't even understand what you're looking for. If you're wanting to
What he
buy
mean
children.
is we want pay with babies.
Oh, he says you're not looking to buy babies. You're wanting to use babies as payment. He says that's kind of weird, man. He says, I admit I'm not as up to date on ogre culture because most of them cleave your skull first and not ask questions later. But he says, but if that's how your people barter, I'm intrigued. I would want to what is worth a baby to you?
Why you give Fergarg the run him around?
He says, I don't know what you mean.
I don't think this is our guy, Fergard. I think this is the guy.
I'm gonna make a sense motive. Does he seem phased by this at all?
Make an insight check.
Nice.
Pretty good.
He definitely seems like he is confused, but some of it seems like it might be a little bit of an act. Like that, you can sense some like genuine confusion coming from him, but you also sense that like he is also kind of skirting around. Like he's not giving a lot of straight answers.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm gonna like sort of butt into the conversation when he's like, "How much is a baby worth?" Like, be like, I mean, surely, not that I'm particularly interested in this matter. Surely a life is clearly worth quite a bit.
He says, "Of course, your life." He's like, if the Dawn Council were to find that you were human trafficking here in the colony, I don't think that they would be very happy about that. Or elven trafficking or dwarven trafficking or maybe
I'll
dwarven.
scoff.
He's like, maybe maybe dwarven trafficking. No, they probably wouldn't be okay with that either.
I'll scoff at the mention of the Dawn Council.
Okay. So he'll say, yeah. So I'm curious since you're asking, of paying in babies. Like what, what is a baby worth? Like if you were to come in here, he's like, let's do an example. He said he goes over and he grabs a statue and he comes and puts it down on there, and it's like, it's a statue. It looks kind of feline, but it has like tentacles coming off of its back. And it's made of gold, and it has gems in the eyes. And you can see there are indentations at the end of each tentacle. And he's like, this, I'm told, is a key to a temple deep within the jungle here. And he says, I don't know what would be in that temple, but if a key is made of this, he's like, I can only imagine what it would unlock. He says, so if you were to come in here and want to purchase this with babies, how many babies would you offer for that?
This many.
I can't see your
We're
hand.
still working on that, Fergark, but you can start. So start
You want-
counting.
Is that 7 fingers?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's
Many.
like 7 babies for this. He's like, okay, well, I mean, that definitely gives me a baseline to understand how much ogres value babies.
Oh my god.
So do we have a deal?
And he's like, what? He's like, I did state at the beginning of this that it was purely academic, that I just wanted to understand
I
What-
mean, you're asking the questions.
what value the ogre would place on babies. I just wanted to understand if
I mean,
I ever
obviously,
had.
7 babies are equal to a solid gold key with pimps for eyes.
He says, and it's good to know, if I ever had to open up a traveling merchant enterprise and I managed to establish good trade with the ogres, then I might need to know how much they would sell their young for.
Well, it's a good thing this is all just a hypothetical conversation.
Of course, he says, like I said, the Dawn Council would probably behead you if they found out that you were paying in.
Oh, it'd be terrible.
I kind of like my head, personally.
And me too. Well, anyways, we have a boat to catch.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, it leaves whenever we arrive.
That's true. Fergar,
This is
Fergar,
our excuse. We're done.
Mhm.
Fergar, where's Donkey during all this?
I mean, he probably would have been coming with me the whole time, huh?
Oh, dude, yeah, he's at his side.
Okay, so Fergar Donkey's like, hey Fergar,
Yes, donkey.
Fergar. He's like, hey man, this guy's full of crap. He's like, my nose, it knows 2 things. He's like, truffles and blood. he's like, he's like, I can smell blood in this place, Fergar, lots of it. Donkey rolled a natural 20 on his perception.
Oh, wow.
Jesus. So, do I see Donkey getting particularly excited, or is he like playing it cool?
No, he's just like standing behind Fergar.
Okay. All right.
You see Fergar like go like stoic.
He's like, he's full of crap, man. I'm telling you. There's dead babies around here somewhere. It's like, I feel like there's a joke coming in there somewhere.
I feel like the tension in the room just got a lot higher. I feel like my character would actually be like,
Well, I mean, only Fergar heard that, so.
right. But I feel like his whole paladin aura thing, he would have just like his character would have changed pretty drastically, pretty quickly.
Hold on.
Does the guy notice that Fergar got all tense?
Excuse me. Fergarg.
I wish I had suggestion right now.
If only.
Hey, they did ask you to come along.
Yeah. Because then we
I
could be
was
like,
busy.
show us the babies, and he'd be like, okay.
So,
Well, suggestion has to be
God
something that would
damn it,
sound
Aaron.
reasonable to him, so you can't make them do something they wouldn't normally, like, find
Suggestion's
reasonable.
different. Suggestion is everything. up
suggestion
to-
is ridiculous.
No,
Suggestion is
suggestion says
everything
very
up-
specifically in it that you can't suggest them a course of activity that they would not find reasonable.
Yeah.
I thought it said that they would put them in a life-changing situation. Like,
No, you
it doesn't-
definitely can't do that, but it has to be something that sounds reasonable.
It has
And
to
that's-
sound reasonable to them.
oh,
so
like go find
way
me
better.
headlight fluid.
you could, like, if you were wanting to do like the baby thing, then the reasonable thing would be you'd say something like, hey, I happen to know a guy that is looking to to offset some 4 or 5 babies. You wouldn't happen to know anybody who's looking to purchase, and
Gotcha.
do that on suggestion. He might be like, actually, I know somebody who loves to purchase babies.
Oh, god damn it, Aaron. If only you
All
cared.
right.
It's okay.
Yeah, my
Well,
point was
Fergar's
that
about
with
to do a
suggestion,
thing.
you couldn't just suggest somebody, tell me where the babies are. And they would, like, that's against the, if he literally is like human trafficking, that would not be reasonable for him to just be like, yes, they're in the back.
Show me, baby.
All right. Fergarg. Fergarg attacks. He draws his weapon and attacks him.
Okay.
Whoa!
Seriously?
So
Yes.
Fergarg, as soon as if I see you start to draw your weapon,
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys can make those of you that are in the shop can make an insight check on Fergarg.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And Fergarg,
Yeah!
if,
Yeah! I'm gonna
Fergar-
fucking help you out, Fergar.
Holy
Nice!
shit! Double nat 20!
Oh,
Fucking
coming
virtual
together.
high five.
The plan is coming together.
Fergarg, let's be fair. Are you going to be trying to disguise that you're about to attack this guy, or are you just gonna
No,
do-
like Fergarg like searches his mind for a minute and he's like, "Oh no."
I love it.
Oh no.
All right, so then you guys know that like Fergarg turns and like looks at Donkey, and then he all of a sudden like tenses up and like his hand goes to his weapon.
Okay. Can I do something crazy?
Well, I'm attacking first.
Well, hold on before you go attacking him, and I'll tell you what I want to do. So,
Do what?
I don't know if we want to roll initiative for this.
Well,
but
I mean,
have...
you guys got an insight on that he was going to do it. So if there's something
Okay.
you want to do to try to intervene, you have a opportunity to do so.
I want to quicken haste on him.
What?
Yeah, boy.
And yes, just in case Wesley wants to do something before that, we probably should roll a quick initiative just to make sure that everybody is treated fairly.
Okay.
We-
So
We need
Fergar.
character tokens.
Oh shit.
JD, you're gonna. I'll have to add you guys manually, I
Yeah.
guess, or
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we still
we'll
have
just
to
have
have
to
tokens.
look at it 'cause I don't have tokens on here.
Fergarg.
I can't even roll because it's.
As soon as you go to draw your
It
weapon,
doesn't matter. It's just a d20 for me.
You will
roll
hear a
from your- you should be able to
voice.
roll from your sheet.
that sounds
It's-
very much like Dorian's voice in your head saying,
Well, wait, Dorian. Wait, you got to roll initiative.
okay, right, sorry. There it is.
And JJ's gonna be at the bottom of it anyway. But you
Oh.
guys, or he's not necessarily at the bottom, but you guys are gonna have a round before him before initiative starts. But between you and MC is gonna determine who will get to do something first. All right, so Dorian, you will get to act first.
Okay, so Fergarg, in your mind, you hear.
I would be really upset if I heard that in my mind.
Just it's like a second before he fights. He's like,
Uh,
he's like, what? What is that? What?
It wasn't even an it
I'm
was
I'm trying to pick my words very carefully.
Hmm.
I'm really trying to pick words carefully here.
Well, pick them faster, quickly.
Most carefully pick something that isn't a word.
I
Um,
agree. Voice
the-
ahead.
You only have the equivalent of like a surprise.
No!
round to be able to-
I know.
My
All right, you know
my
what?
PHP.
Fuck it. I'm gonna
My
tell
PHP just came
Fergarg
apart.
I can make him cooperate, and you will know that it's Dorian's voice. It sounds like my voice.
Do I get to reply?
I don't know. I mean, it's just thoughts.
Okay.
So I can pretty much like telepathically communicate with you right now.
Then yes, JJ, you can either say it out loud or you could say it in your mind.
Fergarg says, "No."
Oh no.
Okay,
Alright.
that's all I needed to know, and now I will do what I need to and actually act.
Yeah, you get an action, Dorian, because speaking is free and your telepathic link is just speaking. So,
Okay, well-
what is your action
I am going to try to cast Hold Person on this guy.
on the shopkeeper?
Yep.
Okay.
Do it on Fergar. That would be fun.
Dude, that would suck. I would be pissed.
I
Oh.
know.
I would be like, "Baby killer, Dorian."
Let me.
It's like turning the giant cannon on a battleship towards a new target.
Yep.
Let me look at something about spells here. It's problematic. Okay. That answers my question. Alright.
Okey-dokey.
So you cast it.
Yep. Makes a will saving
Alright.
throw. DC 16.
Fail, bitch.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
It does not affect him. That motherfucker.
Fuck.
It doesn't seem like he's being held.
Shit.
MC.
All right, so quicken
Not good.
that haste on Fergard,
Okay.
and then this is just a surprise round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes that have a casting time of 1 action or 1 bonus action, so I actually have my action. So I will not do anything else because I have not taken any offensive actions yet.
Okay. Alright. So then, Dorian, you get to go again.
That's not good.
Just fight, you pansy.
Yeah. There's no like. I don't know how 5e works. Dispel magic is really powerful.
Yeah.
Do I feel like there was a magical reason why he was not affected?
You did not roll a good enough perception to know anything.
Okay.
All you know is your spell went off, and it doesn't seem like he didn't stiffen up like you would expect with hold person.
Son of a
That's
bitch.
about all you noticed.
Okay. Let's try this then. We'll just go ahead and fucking Eldritch Blast him because I have nothing else better to do.
Okay, so you're gonna blast into melee.
If we are inside of melee.
Yeah, I mean he's right across the counter from you.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Okay, so that means you'll be attacking at disadvantage.
Okie dokie. I did not actually. Well, I mean, can I move and then cast?
You can.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll take like a 5-foot step back, which I know that's actually part of movement. It's not an actual 5-foot step like Pathfinder.
Right.
And then I'll cast from
Okay.
5 feet away.
Okay.
I guess that matters. I'm playing so many different systems right now. It's hard to keep shit straight.
Okay, so you make your attack, and like, you roll your second one. You have 2 beams, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you roll your Eldritch Blast comes like force comes out of your hand, and it slams into an invisible barrier between you and he, just above the counter.
Son of a bitch. Okay, now I know what's going on.
You still have more movement if you want it.
Of a bitch.
Okay, I'm gonna back up as much as I can within still being able to like see the counter.
That's not very far. It's not a big shop.
I assumed, but I'm gonna back up enough that I'm like as far away as possible with still being able to still being able to see the counter.
Okay. All right, MC, or actually no, it would be JJ now.
All right. So I am going to attempt to attack him
Okay.
with
So
my
roll your
first
attack.
attack.
I guess make a perception first check, because even though
Okay.
you're stupid, you still could have seen the attack hit something invisible. But yeah, so you noticed that like he did try to attack it, or Dorian tried to attack him with magic, and it should have smacked the guy like right in the face, and instead it like just like slammed into something right over the counter.
All right, so I am going to swing at that anyways, really hard.
Okay.
With my first
Make your
attack.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You get 2 attacks now.
Well, 3 with haste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 3 with haste.
Jesus.
All right. So your first attack, you feel like you hit a wall, like you just attacked a wall.
Okay. So, is there like a counter, like one of those little like whoosh thingies that like goes up and down?
No.
All right. Fergarg is going to attack the counter, like that's like the wooden
Okay.
counter.
All right, so make your attack.
Damn it!
Okay. Well, I mean, you can hit the counter.
All right.
Well, no, that is a natural one.
Jesus Christ! Look at that. And then my damage is an 8 or a
Oh my
1 and a
God.
1.
So you managed to just hit the wall again, instead of the counter.
All right. Then Fergarg's going to attack with his last attack again, the counter. Jesus
so-
Christ!
You can hit a counter, and so you hit the counter and you do some damage to it, and you see some splinters fly up from it.
Okay.
Okay. And then Aaron, it is your turn.
Look how many reds just came up in my 4 rolls.
All right, so
You
we're
can
gonna do a
take
tag team
You
here.
take that as
I
a
am-
sign, JJ.
So the shield that comes up over the top of the counter, right? Is that like surrounding him, or is it like from a point, like on the counter?
That's gonna be my question.
Like, where's the shield? Like, is it like over the counter? Does it look like it's like almost like how we would have at a convenience store, like bulletproof glass? Is it like that over the counter,
You don't
or is
see
it around
any-
him?
You don't see anything. Like, you see a counter and you see him standing there just fine. The only thing that you've been able to see is that both of the attacks from both Dorian... Or wait, you're froze.
I'm here.
Oh,
This video is
you-
just laggy.
Okay. So all you saw was, Dorian and Fergarg's attack. Like, it looked like they were just attacking a wall.
Like,
That wasn't
did they
wasn't
stop like
there.
really close to him or further out?
No, it was right at the edge of the counter.
I'm gonna cast a spell magic on the counter,
On the counter? Or above the counter?
above the counter, like where it looked like the wall was.
Okay. So with the spell magic... Let's see.
Oh, or it says or magical effect in range. So in this case, it's the wall.
So I was actually gonna do the same thing.
You can do something else now.
Cool. Please tell me that you make the caster level check.
Well, if
Or
it's
the
third level
ability
or
check.
lower, it just ends.
It's
I highly
not third
doubt it
level.
is.
It's not lower than third level. So you are going to have to make a DC 10 plus the spells level.
Okay, so it's. Let's see here.
I know
It's an
this from
ability.
other
It's ability check using your spell casting ability.
Yeah, so basically a charisma save.
If you're proficient, in
Essentially.
charisma. If you're proficient in charisma, then yes.
Yeah, it's my casting stat. I'm gonna add a 4 to that with my special thing.
With your what?
My level 6 thing that lets me add a D4 to a roll
Okay.
before the result is revealed.
Okay, so adding a D4. You said add 4, so I was like, how
Yeah,
are you just adding a
I'm
flat
gonna,
4?
sorry. I'm gonna add a D4 to that.
Okay.
God, please be good. No!
Okay.
So you cast the spell magic. You don't know if it worked.
Beat. Meter beat.
Alright, then it is his turn, and he smiles and he says, "You've made a grave mistake." And he, reaches under the counter, and then the floor collapses out from underneath you guys.
Sweet! I thought he was gonna pull out a shotgun.
Does it
So glad
collapse
I
beneath
didn't go.
me?
Do I?
Does it collapse beneath me?
Yes, the whole floor, in front,
Shit.
because the counter is only, so you have, your counter space, and then there's, a 5-foot walkway in front of the whole counter that spans the store, and
This
that
dude
just
is
kind of,
totally bad.
folds like this, and you guys, fall down into there, and you find yourselves in, in just, an open stone chamber.
This
Didn't we
dude is
play this
totally a
game
bad
with the other
guy.
shopkeeper that we didn't like?
Do I?
Didn't we play this game already with that other shopkeeper we didn't like? With the fire?
He
or
didn't have a
whatever?
collapsible. Yeah, he didn't have a collapsible floor. He just had a rigged trap.
Yeah.
And technically, he didn't. The Lotus Dragons did.
Right.
If I'd made a better perception check and figured out what that was before having to cast Eldritch Blast, I think we could have probably done something way better there.
All right, so you guys all fall down, and you're in a if you have dark vision, you can see. If you don't have dark vision, you can't.
I have lights as a cantrip.
Okay, so you can cast
Res-
that.
Yes.
Are we still in an initiative?
Not for the moment.
Okay.
MC, when you go to you go and cast your light, and you expect your light to like flicker into being, and it doesn't.
Oh shit.
Your spell went
Oh.
off.
Motherfucker.
Huh.
All right.
Your spell went off, but yeah, you do any of you have dark vision?
No.
Nope.
I am going to concentrate and see through my bat's eyes. Losing
Okay.
my own sight and senses, but I will gain his.
He's
It's-
working.
I don't think he has dark vision, right? He just has blind sight
Blind
or
sight.
blind sense.
Blind sense.
So
Sitting flying around.
yeah, so he flies around the room and surveys it, and you can sense through him that you're in a rough stone chamber, and there are some places where there are manacles hanging off the walls, and it's. I mean, you guys can all feel that it's kind of damp in here, but other than that, like you don't find he doesn't find any kind of like visible doorway or entry exit. You're just in like a big like
Okay.
Open-
What about up?
I mean up is actually that's a good point. You guys
We
would have taken
fell.
falling damage.
Which glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
completely
if the frickin' floor is still open.
I completely forgot about the falling damage. I was so concentrating on seeing if you guys managed to kill him before he fell.
How far was the pit? How deep was it?
Depends how many hit points you have.
That damn wall, man.
Alright, so you take 1d6 for every 10 feet you fell.
Usually the first 10
you
feet is
damage?
free.
That was in 3.5.
Oh.
This is just for every 10 feet you fall, you take some d6 bludgeoning damage.
The first 10 feet are free.
Yeah, so if you only fall 10 feet, you're fine. But
God damn it.
alright, so you guys actually fall 30 feet.
Shoot, buddy.
Jesus. The damages.
So you take 9 falling damage. Or fall bludgeoning. 9 damage.
It's
Bludgeoning.
not bad. Could have been worse.
Nope, I rolled a 2, 1, and a 6, so yeah, so you guys fall down in there, and the bat can tell you that like the ceiling goes up to 30 feet, but it is closed. Like it was basically a spring-loaded pit trap. Like it opened up, you fell, it went back.
That dude totally had this place rigged for fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dirtbag.
I'm surprised you guys. I actually thought you guys might think of something like that. Like if if the rumors are true and he's in human trafficking, he probably has a way to be able
Wesley,
to like.
you brought that
Shit,
up
are we
earlier.
gonna be human trafficked again?
Hang
We
out.
are now sex
I
slaves.
specifically said I don't want to like go after this guy because I bet if he's in human trafficking, then we are not the first people to have tried to stop him.
And then and then Vishal was like, "That's a good point. I don't want to jump into danger."
But the thing is,
Exactly.
we
Which is
will be
part
the
of why
first
I
to
didn't
stop
go.
him. Okay, so
God damn it.
all right, so check this out. Check this out.
I am
out.
talking to you, Aaron. I'm like, God damn it, you got us into this position. How the fuck do we get out of this?
Okay, let's
So
try
we,
this.
we can role play out any conversations, but I think that that's actually a really good point to stop, so that you guys actually can like. Because I don't want it to be anticlimactic in that you guys sit here and try things for like 10 minutes to try and figure out how to get out.
Well, I was gonna try one thing to deal with the magical darkness.
I don't
Okay.
have to go right away.
Who
I
was
was best
gonna-
keep going.
Nobody
I was
said
gonna-
it was magical darkness.
It ate my dancing lights. It's magical darkness.
Either that or it's a spell dampening.
Well, I was gonna try casting. I mean, do you guys think I should cast a spell magic down here on the darkness effect?
Sure, why not? I mean, you have plenty of spell slots. I don't.
I mean, yeah, I'm burning through them though. I've cast haste and dispel magic, and I'm about to do dispel magic again.
Yeah, but those dispel magics are super freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're also third level spells.
Yeah, I mean, I would cast one. I still have a spell slot left, unfortunately. I don't have more.
All right, so I will, before we end, cast dispel magic on the darkness.
Okay.
I attack the darkness.
Attack the darkness.
Okay, so you're choosing darkness as your magical effect for dispel magic.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't work.
Shit. Should I roll?
Didn't see that one coming.
You don't have to roll because darkness is not a magical effect in effect here.
Damn it.
Told ya. No spells work.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and tell you, you are in a very large anti-magic field.
Fuck me. I'm useless.
it.
Fergargs, that's all you, buddy.
All I have to do is move today.
Damn it, Vishla.
Well, at least everybody should take solace in that it won't be a TPK because Colby will still live.
It's not gonna be a PK
Man.
at all.
Fuck that.
It's the best day ever.
So,
I really want to have him like stick his head down in there and be like, it puts the lotion on his skin.
Just wanted to tell you all good luck. We're all counting him.
I would like to ask to no one in particular, except for maybe some unseen things, if they have any ideas.
Yeah, it's definitely something you guys can definitely spend the rest of the session talking about that and talk about it and hang out and things like that. But the visual pretty much is a Buffalo Bill kind of thing. Like you guys got dropped 30 feet down into a hole. It's not a circular well kind of thing, but it is like a 5 foot wide, like just stone hallway kind of thing that you guys get dropped into like a trench.
You know what else really sucks, you guys? So while we were in the middle of this session, while you guys were doing your thing, I picked my new spell for this level, and you know what I picked?
Fly.
Sending.
Oh.
So I can
Aw.
send a message to anybody anywhere, but I'm
Yeah.
not in the hole with you.
If you're inside of an anti-magic field, though, it's
Yeah,
not
so
gonna
it
work.
wouldn't
yeah,
work.
that's right, I guess that wouldn't
You
work.
try to send to them, and then you'd be like, "Why the fuck didn't that work?"
It's still kind of
Because-
ironic.
Up till now, you guys haven't encountered anti-magic, so you guys probably really have no fucking clue what this is.
Yeah. I
Um,
just sent you a message, Martin.
Yeah,
Is-
those of you that have like magical abilities are like feeling like that suppressed, and that could be freaking you out.
Yeah, this is
Donkey
really
is
lame.
Donkey
I
down
feel-
here with us?
Uncomfortably awkward again.
Yeah, is Donkey down here?
Yeah, Donkey's down here.
Does my telepathic speaking still work?
I
I mean, I was able to take over the bat.
Yeah. Actually, the bat probably shouldn't have even worked. Well, no, because it does actually call a creature, an
Yeah.
actual creature, right?
It's an actual
Yeah,
spirit
because
that
the-
takes the form of a creature.
Yeah, so that would have worked fine. As
Toyota
far
Corolla is equipped with
as
Bluetooth
your
standard,
telepathic thing,
so you can
that's
make
probably
and
gonna
take
be another
calls
DM
and
call,
stream
as
your
I don't
entire
think
music
that
library. All
That
hail
part
to
of
E
it,
actually
Warlock.
break. Yeah, I don't think 5e actually breaks it down though into like there isn't like such thing as like supernatural and extraordinary
Right.
effects and things like that anymore. So I need to read the actual. So it's,
Lore-wise, I think that
as far
like,
as I think it probably would work because it's. I mean, I'm gonna look at anti-magic field to double check, but just looking at your ability, it just says that you're able to do it because you have unlocked the knowledge of how.
right.
It's not really a magical thing. You just figured out how telepathy works.
Right.
Speaking of DM calls, I need one in a minute.
Okay.
Just whenever.
Give me a second.
That's a good point.
Fergarg, you motherfucker.
You...
See, if you just listened to me,
I'm really satisfied
Could've-
with this Fergard.
could have gotten a lot better, like, starting fight here. I
No
really
worries.
don't like you, Fergarg.
We kill that
We'll
fucker.
find our way out. We'll get out of this pit.
Oh, actually, hey, Martin. I can only cast Find Familiar as a ritual.
Okay.
That's part of the Book of Secrets thing. I have to cast it as a ritual.
That's the one that you chose for that.
There's two. But yeah.
First Five California recommends you give your
Okay. The spells that you cast are consumed though, so it's not like they don't work. You actually did use those spells. They just get consumed. I would say the telepathy probably works. It is talking about specifically magical energy, summoned creatures, and magic items, but it doesn't say anything about like any like special abilities or anything like that. So unless you have a special ability that is actually like mimicking a magical effect, I'll probably say. I mean, I'm gonna go with ruling that the telepathy works fine.
Okay.
All right, Colby, what was yours?
Okay.
So mine is kind of a weird question. You know how at every level, and this won't matter until the next level, but I would like to know. You know how every level you can swap out a spell for a different spell? Well, as part of my 6th level, I get those 2 spells from any school, and there appears to be very stark disagreement on the internet because I can't find it anywhere in the PHP as to whether or not I can ever swap those non-bard spells out for a different non-bard spell of a higher level later. My opinion is I lean toward I should be able to because I could still only swap out 1 spell per level. But there are some people who say that the trade-off for you getting 2 non-bard spells is that you're stuck with those. You can switch them out for bard spells, but you'll lose them forever.
All right, so it's additional magical secrets.
And there are people online reading the text of it 2 different ways because the text can be read either way, really.
So do we need to re-roll new characters, Martin?
No.
Hang on. I'm gonna say yes. I was initially gonna go with no, because the specific terminology under it says that you can choose one of your bard spells that you know and replace it with another spell. But then the actual terminology under additional magic secrets, it says the chosen spells count as bard spells.
Well, hang on. What page are you on?
I'm looking at the bard class at 53 and 55.
So how are you reading it?
I'm reading it as that yes, you could swap them out.
Okay, but here's the other way that the people online are reading it. The chosen spells count as bard spells for you. Meaning, once you choose those 2 spells are now bard spells. But if you want to swap out a spell, you can still only swap it out for a bard spell, which is now the universe of bard spells plus those 2 spells. So that's what I'm saying. There's 2 completely different ways to read it. I lean towards saying you can then swap it out for any spell, but some people are saying that's like really OP'd because then you can just every level pick a new most powerful spell from any school.
I'm leaning towards agreeing with that. That you could choose to swap those 2 spells that you chose as a magical secret for a regular bard spell, but probably not choose up from another list.
But the corollary to that is that it's kind of a weird benefit to get then that locks you in at 2 random 3rd level spells of some other
Well,
school.
that might be intentional, because they may have wanted to give you spells.
Like if you read it against, then it doesn't balance out with the other school. Why don't you think about it? I don't think you know right now.
And figure, because, yeah, I'm torn on that. So
You can let me know. I'm going to pick at some point in the next 2. It won't matter until next level. I'm going to pick the 2 best 3rd level spells now, so you can just let me know whenever you figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of just bombarded you this session with all kinds of derailments.
Yeah,
I think that was the point.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are not going to need to roll up new characters. There's ways to get out of this. There's just going to be some role playing that's going to be done.
And I would eventually come looking for you. So
I'm not
Oh,
saying you're
that's
not going to get
sweet.
killed, but
And I
I
know where
mean,
you
you
went.
guys are heroic, so he's not going to be able to just simply slit your throat and be done with it. So
Right.
just because you guys are in an anti-magic field, that really doesn't mean a lot to Fergarg. Fergarg can still bring down some pain without magic.
Yep.
So
Just gotta get out of here.
there are options. So
Oh
yeah,
boy.
I would not say prep characters, new characters, but
If I do, I know
because
which
you're
one
not
I'm
dead,
playing.
and there's better chance that you'll get out of this not dead than there's a chance of you'll get out of this dead. Fergarg, with his impulsiveness, he might end up dead, but
but I wouldn't say don't not create new characters.
have a character in mind.
I know what character I'm playing, Martin.
Well,
Father Rufus.
Yep.
I'm fairly confident that I will come out of this alive.
I better come out of this alive. I really like this character.
Oh man.
He
I
better
didn't
live.
see that. I didn't see that coming. I honestly, there for a minute, I was like, they're not going to get any information out of him. And I'm still not confirming that he even does what you guys are. I mean, you guys attacked him. He didn't do any. He defended himself. But it is suspicious that he has a trench built underneath his his shop.
It's awfully suspicious.